Should we try mine?
Hello, am I audible?
Yep. Oh, Tim, kannst du mal ganz schnell einen Namen machen? Ja. Also die Botschafter kommt nicht, aber dann können wir nämlich dem jedenfalls. Ja. Ah, ja, scheint online wird es doch klar. Das wird auch nicht sein. Von was wir jetzt also Michael, I was dann gucken wir mal, wie das vielleicht anmelden. Was ist wieder mal? Ich möchte eine Wortgeschichte. Team kosten nicht. Das ist gut. Genau, das ist. Da ist genau. Schahadat. Schahadat. Ich mache jetzt die Minute. Danke euch. Und nicht die ganze Weihnachten da schon naschen, ja? Ich gehe auch, wir alle weg. Warum kommt ihr das bei mir? Im Moment. Im Moment.
So, Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear friends across all our global locations, a very warm welcome to the 25th edition of the Global Future Summit. So today we are connected across more than 20 cities and 8 time zones. Some of you are here in Hanoi, others are in Vienna, some in Cambridge, hi to the Cambridge Forum, some in Brussels, Berlin, Reutlingen, the University of Reutlingen, Zagreb, my dear friend Professor Kuchenka Dumancic and the team, Budapest, hi Greg Gergely, Bucharest, hi Lilia Tupora and the team, and Yerevan and Gyumri, Tashkent, and it's a privilege to have also with us the AI Association of Central Asia, my dear friend Dr. Fahad Asif from Islamabad, also a new face, Professor Faisal Rashid and the team from the University of Gujranwala. Gujranwala, my apologies. Also Abu Dhabi, I'm waving over to Philip Peschel and the team. Dhaka, hi Rukaya and Subaya. Nairobi, greetings to Stacy and our Kenyan team. And also Stellenbosch, Pierre, Tanya, and the whole team of Special Edge, who will also give a short pitch afterwards. Ho Chi Minh City and Jakarta, hi Vijay, and many more places around the world who are joining currently via YouTube live stream. Wherever you are, you're part of one shared room and one shared conversation. So please let me start, like most of the times, with a very personal story. So here you can see in 2018, I got on this high-tech motorcycle in Austria. And essentially, I got on this high-tech motorcycle in Austria and rode along the historic Silk Road all the way to the pole of inaccessibility in China and back. On that journey, I encountered borders and checkpoints, of course, but much more importantly, I met people, engineers, entrepreneurs, diplomats, academics, even monks and truck drivers. I saw how much friction there is still in our world, political, cultural, technological, but I also saw how much friction there still is in our world. Political, cultural, technological, but I also saw how quickly things can move when there's trust across those boundaries or borders. So that trip was actually the origin of Silk Road 4.0, as you can see here. And in nowadays phase, our modern connectivity ecosystem inspired by an old trade route. Instead of caravans and spices, we connect people, knowledge, and capital. Instead of one road, we work with many local hubs. The idea has always been simple. If we can reduce friction between the right people, we can unlock solutions that no country and no company can build alone. Well, since 2018, when I did the trip, the world has not become any calmer. We've experienced fragile supply chains, a pandemic, geopolitical tensions, and economic uncertainty. On top of this comes the economic shockwave of AI, and on the horizon, the question of artificial super intelligence. Behind all the technical debates sits a deeper question. What does it mean to be human in a world where machines can increasingly simulate our intelligence and even our conversations? So what remains uniquely ours, our ethics, our empathy, our sense of responsibility, our capacity to imagine a better future together? In many ways, the debate about superintelligence is a debate about our own better self, a question none of us can answer alone, only together. Recently, I had the privilege to attend the Autumn Economic Forum in Ho Chi Minh City, and I listened to the Venerable Prime Minister of Vietnam, His Excellency Pham Minh Chinh, in a dialogue with the World Economic Forum. In his speech, he returned again and again to one word: unity. So he said, and I quote, "No country is safe if one country is unsafe," he said. He called for renewed multilateralism and solidarity, and reminded us that change does not only come from governments top down, it comes from businesses and people like us. Technology, he emphasized, must bring happiness and safety to people, and its benefits must be shared so that no one is left behind. His closing triad was simple and powerful. Unity gives us strength. Cooperation gives us benefits. Dialogue strengthens trust. At the same event, Stephen Merchanthaler from the World Economic Forum himself described the mind shift organizations need in this VUCA world, moving from competition to collaboration, from static to evolving, from silos to systems, from narrow specialization to integration, and from pure efficiency to creativity and learning. And this is exactly the culture we as Silk Road 4.0 are trying to cultivate here. Prime Minister Pham speaks about unity. Inside Silk Road 4.0, we use the word alignment. That means unity with direction. You can see this in our well-known four-circle model that we used from the very beginning. One circle is technology and innovation. So that's where people create new capabilities. One is people and culture, those who synchronize our societies with these changes. One is global governance and law, those who structure the rules of the game. And one is, of course, business and finance, those who enable solutions to grow and scale. And exactly where these circles overlap is home of Silk Road 4.0. Our role is to align those four communities around responsible ventures. That, for us, is unity, alignment across technology, people, governance, and capital. So there is a concept in physics called spontaneous synchronization. Many separate oscillators on a shared platform, metronomes, pendulum, even fireflies, gradually fall into rhythm without any central command. So I see Silk Road 4.0 in a similar way. What you see today is the show of unity. But the real alignment happens before and after our summit, in the many calls, introductions, and collaborations where people slowly begin to move in sync. The Global Future Summit is only the moment when this synchronization becomes globally visible. And I should emphasize, I'm not speaking on behalf of any government or even powerful organizations. I can only speak for myself, and I hope in a way for our Silk Road 4.0 family. From that perspective, the conclusion is simple. We need more together than separate. We need more person-to-person trust and fewer invisible walls and mental silos. So Silk Road 4.0 has always been built on individuals who happen to hold important roles in organizations. Our philosophy is that it is not someone out there who will fix things the world. It is us, me. My own personal rule is simple. Try to be a little bit better than yesterday as a person, as a leader, as a partner. If enough of us do that, the system changes. And just a brief update. So for those who have been following us for longer, out of this mindset, Silk Road has grown into 3 pillars. So those people familiar with Silk Road, they know already, but I will repeat it for those many new faces here in the group. The first pillar is the Global Future Summit, our co-created flagship, which you are part of right now. Here, we bring together the 4 circles: technology and innovation, people and culture, global governance and law, business and finance. We focus this edition on AI and life sciences and a concrete project that deserve to be scaled. So the second pillar, and you can all find this on our website, is the Silk Road 4.0 Global Business Club, the engine room behind the summit. The summit provides inspiration and connection. The business club provides continuity. It is a created membership community for the AI and ASI, artificial superintelligence transition, where decision makers from companies, funds, universities, cities, and international organizations work together to open markets and build cross-border ventures. Membership offers access to a trusted global network, structured support to turn ideas into pilots and investments, faster and safer market entry through local partners and visible leadership roles in this emerging ecosystem. So later today, our Vice President for Membership Affairs, Professor David Zahakian, saying hi to Yerevan, to Armenia, will walk you through the membership model in more detail. But the third pillar and formation, so that's why we don't have a page yet, is the SILKROAD 4.0 Association. That will be our non-profit arm for public good projects, long-term governance, innovation, and initiatives where the logic cannot be purely commercial. So none of this would be possible without many people who are working day and night to make today happen. And I'm just waving over to Konstantin. I think you didn't sleep that much in the last days. So I want to thank our local hosts in all participating cities across 8 time zones, our strategic partners and sponsors, and the institutions that continue to trust us. Also, I'm deeply grateful to our advisory circle, our core team, our regional directors and local ambassadors. And I want to give special appreciation to our interns and volunteers. So Konstantin, the mastermind, amazing job that they did. Diana, thank you. Sevan, Shu, and Medina for joining in on the short notice. The invisible backbone who make sure the live stream runs, speakers arrive on time, and everything works in all locations. Without you, there would be no Global Future Summit. And just briefly, as coming now to an end, looking ahead, I'm pleased to announce that our next Global Future Summit will take place on April 14th, 2026, in partnership with the EM Congress. So the managing director of EM Congress, Mark Tarago, will also briefly speak later. So why I'm mentioning it is what we start today should gain momentum, not just fade away as a one-time thing. The relationships you begin today, the projects you sketch today, should be more mature and more impactful by then. So let us treat this day not as an isolated event, but as a checkpoint in a shared journey. If we can live the Prime Minister's triad, unity, collaboration, and dialogue, and translate it into our language of alignment, co-creation, and trust, then this summit will have achieved its purpose. With that, it's my great pleasure to officially open the 25th Global Future Summit. So I want to stop here and want to say a big thank you to our kind host. So Ms. Aurora from FPT Software, the head of global marketing and communication and partnership of the FPT Corporation. So I would like to pass over the microphone that you can see here over to our Ms. Aurora.
Thank you so much, Dr. Phillips. Distinguished guests, His Excellency Ambassador Philip Agatonus, His Excellency Ambassador Muhammad Junqua Naing, and His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Lê Thái Hoàng Vũ, and all participants joining from across the globe, as I imagine. On behalf of FPT Corporation, we are honored to serve as the local host partner for this important gathering. And I also have my colleagues from Germany, from AI and Healthcare Business Unit joining this webinar. And when we heard about this Global Future Summit, we see that it is a very remarkable initiative that brings together visionaries and co-create solutions for a better tomorrow. And especially this year's theme, AI and Life Science, is actually two strategic investment and growth of FPT for the last 3 years, because more than ever, the mankind is addressing how technology can advance humans' well-being and sustainability. And for those who don't know us, FPT is a Vietnam-based technology corporation with over 36 years of experience. Our core businesses including and IT education. from elementary school to university. And our core business, now we are operating in more than 30 countries with more than 80,000 employees. We partner with more than 1,000 clients worldwide, including 130 Fortune 500 companies. So now FPT is operating as an AI-first company. And there are 5 foundations of an AI-first company that we want to share with you. Is it going on, right?
Yeah, I can see it here.
Okay. So as we're moving as an AI-first company, it means that we want to develop, build, and partner with the AI to help us more productive, more efficiency, and to serve people better. So the 5 foundation that I would like to share is that, firstly, is AI helping us a new way of working. Secondly, is we need to cope with the fast-changing environment by new workforce structure. And the third one is that AI helps us with new accelerators of our progress. And the fourth one is that the fourth foundation that we still need AI guardians to help us with the governance of AI and people, and plus AI security. And finally, as a technology company, our fifth foundation is to partner with a global AI technology brands all over the world. If I just want to elaborate a little bit in the 2 first foundations, because it will like inspire somehow your thought in adopting AI in life science. We are as a technology company, our new way of working is now because we're doing software. So imagine that an AI-driven software development cycle is now integrate AI into each phase of software development to improve efficiency, quality, and speed. And we apply shift-left approach, which means the software development lifecycle is not like waterfall or break into sprint, agile sprint like before. But now we will be able to move like testing, security, quality assurance a little bit earlier in the development phase. So in order to reduce like fixing bugs, reduce rework, and improve productivity. And how AI will have like analyze the real-time coding. So you don't wait until you end the production and you test, but now AI will have us test when you code it. So that's a new way of working. The second foundation is that new workforce structure. In FPT, 100% of us have to take at least 1 AI course in the year. 100% of 80,000 people in the group. And our workforce now become what we call AI augmented engineers. So we augmented with AI. Of course, we still have like AI champions who very master in AI. And we also have like digital workers, which are like AI agents in our workforce. But majority of the workforce are still the people. And of course, like I mentioned in the meanwhile, we still need to need an AI guardians to govern the collaboration between AI and people. So we also applying it in our IT service to our healthcare clients, our many other industry in the world. So, and we wish that Global Future Summit will be full of insightful ideas, meaningful connection, and fruitful discussion that inspired a better future for all of us.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Great pleasure. Thank you.
you.
And now handing over to our traditional opening speaker as well, our ambassador, Philipp Agathos. Since 2018, you are a close supporter of SILKROAD 4.0. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Philip. And it's a privilege and an honor to be once again at one of your pit stops at the opening of the yet another edition of the Global Future Summit. I've lost track of the numbers. It's 25, I think, now already. Yes, Philippe came to visit me in China when I was working there as the head of the office for science and technology of the Austrian embassy. We were together in Chengdu, we were in Beijing. We're traveling in Jiaxing, in Hangzhou, I think in Shenzhen. We also were there together, different places. And I'm also honored that we are here at the FPT headquarters in the year, a bit more than a year, almost a year and a half that I've been now the Austrian ambassador to Vietnam. Our collaboration has been deepening. Several Austrian companies visiting here, deepening talks with the AIT, Austrian Institute of Technology. You've been talking to Frequentis, numerous other also smaller companies. I think it's great what I see. You talked about AI and let me say AI for me equals data. We are all sitting on this wealth of data. We just don't know it. We share it for free with big tech companies, which then sell it back to us. So now I think we have to find ways of using them ourselves, and we get the profit, and then we give it to the companies to use it. So now we are also looking at collaborative solutions for data, using research to do that. Austrians are very good at research. So I'm very happy that we're here. I'm also happy that after me will be my dear colleague, Ambassador Wang, sitting in Vienna. I say hello to him from here. We try to talk regularly, and I'm glad that he could also join here today. And I'm looking forward to your to concluding this stop successfully and deepening again from now to the next one and hearing the results. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Philippe. Thank you very much. As His Excellency Dr. Letai Huang Wu has already been mentioned, I'm just waving over to Vienna. I'm just checking if colleagues are already in Vienna already.
See the face.
So perfect. Yeah. Dear Excellency, dear Huang, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Philip. A very good morning from Vienna, and very good morning to Ambassador Philippe Azogonos. We miss you in Vienna. Dr. Philip Reinisch, Managing Director of SILKROAD 4.0, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, online participants, good morning. It is a great honor for me to join you today at this prestigious SILKROAD 4.0 Global Future Summit. I think the bold vision of Mr. Philip is very inspiring. And, last year we already had the UN Global Summit, which also talk about the future of human beings. And it's very interesting to see how you follow up with this, bold vision at the United Nations as well. So my congratulations go to Dr. Philip Reinisch for your bold vision to promote technological cooperation between Europe and Asia and beyond. And the fact that you are now physically in Ho Chi Minh City is already very vivid evidence of that potential growth of technological cooperation between Europe, between Austria and Vietnam. We gather here in Vienna, a city long celebrated as a bridge for international dialogue and cooperation, to discuss a theme that will define our common future. The original Silk Road was not merely a route for trade, but a vibrant network for the exchange of knowledge, culture, and innovation to propel human civilization forward. Today, Silk Road 4.0 reimagines this historic concept for the digital age, where data streams are now our new caravans, and artificial intelligence is the compass guiding us through uncharted territories. The convergence of AI and life sciences represents one of the most promising frontiers in this new landscape. We stand at the cusp of revolutions in personalized medicine, drug discovery, and our understanding of life itself. AI's power to analyze vast genomic datasets, model complex biological systems, and accelerate the development of therapeutics holds the key to solving some of the humanity's most pressing health challenges. However, with this immense potential comes profound responsibility. The ethical implications of AI in healthcare, issues of data privacy, and ensuring equitable access to these technological breakthroughs are discussions we must have and have together. The Silk Road was built on principles of mutual benefit and shared prosperity. As we build its 4.0 version, we must embed these same principles into its digital DNA. In this grand endeavor, Vietnam is an eager and committed partner. Our government has identified science and technology, innovation, and digital transformation as the cornerstone of our national development in the coming decades. We are actively investing in our digital infrastructure, fostering a dynamic startup ecosystem, particularly in digital health and agri-tech, and prioritizing the development of a high-tech workforce. And the FPT company is one of the pioneers in this regard. Vietnamese scientists and tech companies like FPT present here today are already making their mark, global mark. And we are keen to learn from global best practices and contribute our own unique insights and talents. And for your information, Vietnam is likely to be one of the first countries on earth to have a law on AI. Austria, with its research institutions, its legacy of medical excellence, and its position as a host to international organizations like the IAEA and UNIDO, is a national this dialogue. Vietnam highly values our growing bilateral partnership and sees immense potential for collaboration in these very fields. We believe that by linking our ecosystems, Vietnam's dynamic innovation drive, with Austria's and the wider world's deep research capabilities, we can co-create solutions that are not only technologically advanced, but also inclusive and sustainable. In this connection, the Embassy of Vietnam initiates the annual Vietnam-Austria Tech Forum with the inaugural forum held last May on AI. You are all invited to the second forum on cybersecurity, scheduled on the 13th of May, 2026. Therefore, let this summit be more than just a platform for discussion. Let it be a catalyst for action. Let us forge new partnerships, initiate joint research projects, and establish frameworks for collaboration that ensure the benefits of AI and life sciences reach every corner of our interconnected world. I'm confident that exchanges over the coming days will be insightful, inspiring, and productive, in which the Silk Road 4.0 Global Future Summit a resounding success. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much for your inspiring words. And it's a privilege also to work together on the events that you just mentioned. So please let's stay in touch. We are more than interested to work together here. We're just seeing, okay, now, we just saw a brief message on the screen. So having said this, I would like to invite our third ambassador to the stage. This time it's from Bangladesh. Bangladesh is greeting the world. Your Excellency Muhammad Sulkar Nain from Germany, and the ambassador of Bangladesh to Germany. I'm just waiting for His Excellency to join and take the stage. So,
Thank you.
Sorry, I can see you. Let me just put the spotlight on you. So the stage is all yours. Thank you for giving us the privilege to join our conference.
Thank you so much, Dr. Philip Reines, distinguished guest, and the SILKROAD 4.0 team. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very much happy joining you. This is my first time in SILKROAD 4.0, and hope to build on and continue. There is no doubt the history of human civilization is all about connectivity zone and collectivity zone. Connectivity enriches the human progress, and sorry, I'm audible to you?
Yes, you are. We can hear you
Okay.
well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So the idea of connecting Europe and Asia is not new for us. Thousands of years ago, the ancient Silk Road seamlessly linked civilization through caravans carrying silk, spices, and of course ideas. But there were also a maritime route, and Bengal, today's Bangladesh, was its most vital gateway. 5 centuries ago, when Portuguese navigators reached the Bay of Bengal, they discovered what history already proven there. Bangladesh was where the Silk Road met the sea. Portuguese established the trading post in Chittagong. They called it Port Grande at that time. It's not by accident, but because our ports were already thriving as the centers of the global commerce, and of course there was a huge bustling activities of shipbuilding. Then they came for our legendary muslin textiles. It was so fine fabric that they called woven here, renowned worldwide from Rome to China. But Bangladesh was never just a marketplace. We were the connector through our rivers and ports. European merchants accessed the markets of Southeast Asia and beyond. Our strategic location at the apex of the Bay of Bengal made us indispensable to the East Asian trade. This position made Bangladesh as one of the wealthiest regions in the world at the time. So, reclaiming our historic role. Today, we aspire to reclaim this historic role as the East Asian gateway again, now powered by digital connectivity and modern infrastructure. We sit at the crossroad of South Asia, 1.8 billion people, Southeast Asia, 6.8 million consumers. Our position on the Bay of Bengal remains as strategic today as it was centuries ago, offering European businesses direct access to 2.5 billion consumers. We are reinforcing this gateway with transformative infrastructure. The Padma Bridge connecting our riverine nation, Dhaka Metro, and the Mathar Deep Seaport, with average 6 to 7% average growth for 2 decades, and our 2026 LDC graduation, we demonstrate sustained commitment to the global integration. The digital gateway, in this connection, I can mention that today's connectivity is, of course, digital. Bangladesh has 130 million internet users and 120 million mobile financial service users. Digital infrastructure rivaling many developed nations. Our ICT exports exceeded $2 billion, supported by 4,500 tech startups and young dynamic workforce, I would say more than 500,000. Our Smart Bangladesh 2041 Vision 6 European Partnership in AI, integrated manufacturing, digital health, and climate technology. We are not just consumers. We are co-creators of affordable, scalable solutions. Investment opportunities beyond textiles. We are known as the second largest exporter of ready-made garments, but we're trying to diversify our portfolio. So in this scenario, the pharmaceutical is featuring prominently. Now we export medicines to more than 150 countries, advancing into biosimilars, ideal for German collaborations. Renewable energy, our target is quite high despite so many challenges. 40% renewable target we are having by 2041. We host 100 plus LEED certified green factories, that is world largest in number. And finally, the burgeoning sector is the light engineering and electronics. It's a growing manufacturing base for regional market. Our special economic zones guarantee profit repatriation within the framework secured by bilateral investment treaties with Germany. So from this scenario, we call for actions that Bangladesh is trying to connect seamlessly with the rest of the world and particularly with Europe. So our appeal would be that please explore Bangladesh, visit Bangladesh and partner with Bangladesh And no doubt, it can raise your productivity comfortably, both at the local and at the global level. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. It was a great privilege to hear your explanations. So from very early on, Syed Muntasir Mamun was kindly supporting Silk Road 4.0, and I'm more than happy to explore more ways to collaborate more with Bangladesh. So having said this, now I would like to wave to Cambridge, to the University of Cambridge. So as you know, Silk Road, we're all about cooperation and co-creation. So today's first knowledge session is in co-creation mode and cooperation mode with the Cambridge Forum from the University of Cambridge. So I'm now welcoming our next keynote speaker, Dr. Ehab Shanti, to take this stage. I'm just looking, please feel free to unmute yourself so I can put a spotlight on you. Here we go, I found you. Dear Dr. Shanti, dear Ehab, wonderful to see you. It's a great privilege to have you with us. And please feel free to unmute yourself.
Yes. Can you hear me, Dr. Philip?
Yes, I can hear you now. I do hear a strong echo. I wonder it's on my side, or maybe you have a YouTube going on.
Can you hear me now?
Now, I think now it's going well. Thank you.
To switch this here. Yes.
Yeah, because we have a similar setup with two computers joining in the Zoom session at the same time.
Yeah, so maybe no.
So the Zoom session then needs to be muted while you're speaking on your computer. Yeah.
Yes, I think it is muted.
Yes, now I think everything is working well. I don't hear an echo from my side.
Okay.
So everything is good. Thank you so much, Eyal.
Yes, no, thank you. If you guys don't mind, first of all, thank you so much for joining us and for organizing this incredibly inspiring gathering with 20 countries. We are pleased to have this collaboration with you as Cambridge Forum, which is an independent forum that happens in Cambridge. If you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. So please bear with me for a second. Share. Can you see my screen?
Not full screen, but I can see a slide.
Okay, all right. So now can you see the slide?
Yes, perfect. Now it's full screen. Thank you. Yep.
So I have it's a bit of a daunting task today. I have two daunting tasks. One, the subject is demystifying AI. And, usually I do this with almost a full day or half a day of work. So demystifying AI in 15 minutes is going to be quite daunting as a task. The second daunting task for me, this challenge is the diversity of the crowds in 20 countries. Some of you have advanced knowledge of AI, others don't. So if you do, please bear with me. Hopefully, for you, I will put my sociologist hat on. And for those who don't, I'll put my AI hat on to try and... The purpose is, I would like you to walk out of today's 15-minute talk having learned something about artificial intelligence and stimulated to think more of it and to think of its possible implications, because that is what my primary concern. So we start today with a little bit of a game. I'd like a volunteer. And if I can ask you to play a song, and I'm going to demonstrate for you what I think of, how I think of AI. So Derek, could you play a song? Okay. Oh, so red wine. That's an easy one there. So I have with me Shazam. Many of you, probably know this app. It was an app that was there way before the whole hype of AI. The issue is the mind-boggling thing for an average human being is how does Shazam do this? How does it? There's about 200 million songs in the world. How does Shazam know which song that was played here in a second or two? And for me, that's the essence of artificial intelligence, as an emblematic example of it. So why? Because Shazam doesn't know the songs. The machine doesn't know the songs. What the machine does is looks for a frequency. It converts the song into a frequency, and it looks for a print within that frequency, almost like a stamp. And within a second or two, if it finds that frequency, it says, this is the song. And this is the essence of artificial intelligence, because it's intelligence, it's able to know the song, but it's artificial because it actually doesn't know music, it's looking for a frequency. And I love this as an emblematic example. So that to me is the essence of what artificial intelligence is. Machines are able to process data in a way that we are completely unable to do as human beings. And they use this to automate or to answer questions or classify things. So that's the agenda for today. What is AI? Again, it's a daunting task to do it in the time allowed, but I'll do my best. What are the implications for us? I'll show you. For the insurance industry, we use AI extensively in InsurTech and so on. Now, basically,
there's a delay.
Okay, it's a bit of it. So artificial, there's a lot of hype now about AI and so on. So AI follows, there's, a larger umbrella of AI, which is artificial intelligence. And within that umbrella, there's machine learning, right? And within machine learning, there's deep learning, and then the latest iteration, which is generative AI. So AI is the general rubric for which these different processes follow through. And each of these processes, as you can see, has its own algorithms, its own processes, and so on, and its own purposes for how. So I thought a lot about AI during the course of my PhD, and I would say that the essence of what came up to me is three central processes. And I'm talking to an average person. If you understand these three central processes and think about them deeply, you'll understand the power of AI and you'll understand its possible implications. So the first process is classification. And that might seem like a simple process, not important, but classification is is the most powerful tool that we have as a human species. Let me repeat that. Classification is what distinguishes us as a species. Our capacity to describe the world around us and classify things is what makes us the strongest species on this planet. So for instance, I started my chapter, I said a gorilla doesn't know it's a gorilla. We classified it as a gorilla, and we said it's part of the ape family, and we human beings, the gorilla could think of itself as Google or whatever. So classification is the most powerful tool that we have as human beings. Largely now we are giving that tool to machines to do things on our behalf. So think of what we're foregoing in terms of a power as a human species. The second important process, which is iteration. Iteration is, do you remember that game we used to play as kids? Hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold to find the treasure. The iterative processes of machines and machine learning is what makes them incredibly powerful. Because, if a machine cannot get something in the first iteration and it improves through reinforcement learning, it will get it through the second or the third and fourth iteration. So the iterative process makes machine learning and AI an incredibly powerful tool, and it's one of its most important processes, this concept of reinforcement learning. The third is clusterization, the capacity for a machine to cluster things and find patterns in ways that we human beings are not able to find. So now the question is, why is AI important? And there's a million and one ways to think of why AI is important. But during the course of my PhD, I stumbled on two things that were mind-boggling. And we're talking, this is 2021, 4 years ago. This statistic by, IBM found that, 90% of all human data were created in 2016, 2017. This is a mind-boggling statistic, to think that it took human beings 5,000 years or whatever, I don't know how many years we have been recording data, and then just in 2 years, we created 90% more. So we are producing more data than we ever have been. And one of the speakers alluded to that. I mean, just think of just the mind-boggling data of YouTube, and you get an idea of this. The second thing that I found during the course of my PhD was Bill Gates said that the next breakthrough of machine learning is going to be 10x Microsoft valuations. And I used to think, this is before ChatGPT, I used to think, how, where, how could this be possible? And now with the emergence of ChatGPT, I don't see this as a problem. Now, there's now so much hype about AI, largely because of the emergence of generative AI and ChatGPT. But AI is not a new thing. I would venture to say we have increasingly become dominated by machines in a very latent way. And as sociologists, we're always interested in this concept of individual agency versus social structure. So one of the things I advanced in my thesis is that I suggested that actually the new social structures are not social and economic structures, they are machine-induced structures. So a machine right now decides who our friends are in social media. It recommends certain friends and so on. It decides what routes we take through Google and so on. It's making a decision on our behalf. And we are foregoing our capacity to make such decisions and giving it to a machine. An algorithm decides our credit score. Imagine how important your credit score is to your life. You cannot get a mortgage, you cannot get anything without a credit score. A machine is now deciding which book it recommends to us to read, when we buy something through Amazon. It's deciding on which, financial products. It's deciding on our careers. Not now, from 15, 18 years ago in Canada, machines actually look at the job applications in the government. No human being looks at them. So the people who know to put the keywords that the machine is looking for would be able to get interviewed, while those who don't know these processes don't. So it's literally, and then there's the whole issue of security. Machines are flagging certain people as a security risk based on, a set of predictable, algorithms and so on. So I would venture to say that we are living in the age of the machine, and we have forgone our capacity to classify. Machines are increasingly ordering our universe. And we should be worried about that, I think, and we should think about its implications on policy and so on. Now, let's look at classification. What do we mean by classification? And I'm going to try to simplify it. As I said, for those who know AI, this might be rudimentary, but I'm trying to explain it in a way. So basically, how does a machine classify? And this is the essence of it. So let's say I want a machine to decide whether something is a bee or a wasp. That's the intelligence question. Bee or wasp? Can you decide as a machine? So how do I do that? I try to find data that could indicate bee or wasp. So we could look at the length of the wasp, the width of the wasp, right? And just build a support vector machine, an SVM, whereby if the length of the insect is a certain way and the width, it would be a wasp. If it's less, then it would be a bee. And then you would find the hyperplane. This is what people who do machine learning, part of the processes, they find the hyperplane, and the distance between this and the hyperplane suggests that it has a higher probability of being a WASP. So that's how machines classify. One way of, this is one algorithm called support vector machine. Suppose we're not able to find the hyperplane, like we see things in a circular way. So what do? Do we give up? No. There's one way of finding the hyperplane through three-dimensional data, and I'll wait for it to happen. So I'm unable to find the hyperplane here. So what do? Do we give up, or do we still try to find a way of finding a way of distinguishing this data? And this is how you could look at data in high-dimensional space. I want to stop here. So I'll give you an example how a machine could classify colors. Do you know the RGN colors, for instance, red, green, and blue? So if you want to understand machine learning and artificial intelligence, you need to understand vectors. And vectors, so the machine converts things into vectors in high-dimensional space and tries to find the relationship between vectors. So if this was the plane for red, blue, and green, if it's closer to here, then it would be more red, more green. Do you see what I mean? So the space, the location of the vector gives you the embedded meaning in that space. And that's one of the central processes of classification. Now, I have a friend, he's an AI professor of applied mathematician, our chief scientist. He says, AI is just a glorified linear regression. So as a statistician, you'll be skeptical about AI and AI processes. But, I want to show you this. And this illustrates why this is powerful. Has anybody seen this diagram before? Are there any mathematicians here, like really smart mathematicians? Can you give me the patterns in these numbers? Can you find any patterns in these numbers? Of course you can't. An average human being cannot find patterns in these numbers. So a statistician, in rebuttal to my colleague, might come in and say, oh, no, I know how to do the math of this. I'll know how to find the patterns. I'll try to find the minor statistical methods, I'll try to find the mean, the variance, and so on. Guess what? All four have almost the same exact mean, the same sample variance, the same correlation, the same everything. So you cannot find any pattern as a statistician between these numbers. But then what if we apply data visualization, using AI to apply data visualization? Then we will see entirely different patterns from these numbers that you'll not be able to see I'll just wait for you will not be able to see as a statistician. And that's the essence and the power of these tools, where they go beyond basic statistics, data visualization, the vectorization, the iteration, and the building of neural networks to find patterns and so on. That's what makes artificial intelligence so incredibly powerful. Now, recently, someone who's sort of called the godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, was asked recently, and I find that extremely scary. He said, do you understand how neural networks work? Do we actually know how neural networks work? And he said, actually, we don't. And but I think I found a way, with all due respect and deference, to see potentially how we can visualize them, at least. Maybe we'll not know how they work, but we will see how neural networks, before I get to that, actually, so it's a bit, there's a bit of a delay. So, sorry for trusting that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very interesting, but I wonder if we want to set up a separate dedicated session on the data analysis part. So just as a little bit of exploration, for the audience, the idea of today's session is like an inspirational session. And if you want to connect with the speakers, please use the Connect with Speakers link that Shu will provide you in the comments. So the idea is that we have today's session as an inspirational, let's say, first introduction, and then on a separate date, we can have a deep dive with Ehab, for example, about those topics. So just as an explanation for the audience.
Yes. So I'm going to conclude by showing you this video because it's an illustrative video of how I'm going to show it to you guys here. So this is basically how a neural network functions and fires up. If I want to convert the question of converting numbers and having the machine trained to understand these numbers, so through various algorithms, like the perceptron algorithm, you're actually seeing how the neural network fires up in three-dimensional space. And Jeffrey Hinton says we don't understand how it works exactly. But if you're visualizing it, you're seeing how it's firing up, and you see how the machine is capable of replicating thought by, understanding whether a number is 8 or 9. And I conclude with that. As I said, it's artificial intelligence, I think, presents one of the greatest revolutions of our time. Generative AI in particular. We are in Cambridge. There was a person by the name of Ludwig Wittgenstein almost 100 years ago who said that basically our language presents the boundaries of our world. So imagine now that large language models are going to be the boxes from which that limit basically our view of the world. So everything that we know is going to be within that box, but I would think that innovation would need to happen in what is the unknown. And I'm inspired by this Douglas Cardinal, the great Canadian native architect, who said, who had a shaman told him, all of what we know that we don't know is in the little hands of God. But he said, where you need to go to innovate is in the unknown unknowns, and that's where the eagles roam. So I want you to think about how AI might be limiting our capacity to go to where the eagles roam. And with that, I conclude my talk.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ehab, for this inspirational introduction into artificial intelligence. I have tons of questions, but as I mentioned, unfortunately, today's session is purely an inspirational purpose. So we cannot cover in 3 hours the whole. I'm just muting. Perfect. We cannot cover in detail, in depth, all the topics that we touched today. So again, I would ask the local organizers, please distribute this Connect with Speakers link, where you'll find a form, and then you can put in your name, which speakers you are interested in, and then you will be included in the follow-up sessions, separate private Zoom calls with the speakers, with the partners that we have at our hand, where we'll facilitate mutual introduction, discuss ventures, discuss joint projects, etc., etc. So thank you so much for joining today. Thank you for partnering with us. A warm greeting to the Cambridge Forum. And as a next commenter and speaker, I would like to briefly take the stage Behzod Ismailov. He's a managing director of the AICA. It's a Central Asian Association for AI. So I'm just looking at the screen. Yeah, here we go. It's yours.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I will just mute my microphone.
Yeah. Thank you.
I do hear. Okay. So, yeah, now there is no echo.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests. It is the great honor to join you today at the Global Future Summit. I would like to sincerely thank the organizers and the SILKROAD 4.0 community for this invitation and for creating a platform where the visionary leaders, innovators, and policymakers can come together to shape our shared digital future. As the executive director of the Association of Artificial Intelligence for Central Asia, our mission is to accelerate the responsible development, adoption, and integration of AI technologies across the region. So I'm representing today not only Uzbekistan, but 5 Central Asia countries. We bring together governments, academy, and private sector and civil society to build an unified ecosystem that supports innovation, strengthening digital skills, and ensures the AI serves the long-term social and economical goals of our countries. In the past years, we have focused on 3 key priorities. First, supporting national AI strategy and building regulatory frameworks that balance innovation and safety. The second one, the strengthening talent development through education, research programs, and the capacity building initiatives. And the third one is enabling cross-border cooperation by connecting Central Asia with the global partners, expert networks, and leading the technology hubs. Today's summit reflects exactly the type of collaboration we believe in: open, international, and forward-looking. Central Asia stands at this crossroads of the digital Silk Road. And together with our partners, we see enormous potential to co-create technologies, launch joint projects, and build a sustainable AI future that benefits the entire region. Once again, I will be very short. Thank you for inviting our association to be part of this important conversation. We look forward to long-term and fruitful cooperation and to shaping the next chapter of the Silk Road, powered by knowledge, innovation, and shared values. Very warm regards from Uzbekistan, Tashkent. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to have you on board. I'm more than welcome to. I'm more than happy to collaborate in the future, much more in depth. Central Asia is a very fascinating country. So, as you know, in 2018, I was passing by in person in Tashkent. I spent several weeks in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, and I really enjoyed my stay. So, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
So, coming to the next speaker. We are now turning to Africa as a pitch for further inspiration to see what happens outside of our knowledge zone, what happens outside of our comfort zone. So the next speaker is Stevie Dimber. He is the co-founder of Clinic. That's an healthcare startup in Africa, and he will elaborate a little bit more on the living conditions and the challenges of the people in Africa. Something that I have to say I'm not really aware of these situations enough. So I'm very grateful that Stephen is joining us today. We have a pre-recorded video from Stephen, just to be sure about the internet connectivity. I wonder if Stevie is also online available and just wants to say hi. In the meantime, I would like to ask our golden angel in the background, Shu, to start preparing the video, to share the video. I'm just looking at our screen if Stephen is available. If not, maybe Shu, you could please start playing the video, and I'm muting myself for the video. So Shu, please feel free to start whenever you're ready. Okay. Okay. I'm just waiting for Shu to let the video go. Okay. Here we go. I see it full screen. Yes.
Good
Thank you.
morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning from. My name is Steve Dimba, co-founder and CEO of Clinic Telehealth, currently in Nairobi, Kenya. Clinic is a digital health platform designed for the young, the underserved, and those overlooked. Today, allow me to challenge a comfortable illusion that the next 1 billion people will enter healthcare system designed for them. They won't. They are already currently rerouting around those systems. We're watching a generation that won't wait in line, won't tolerate gatekeepers, and won't keep quiet when systems fail them. This is not a cultural shift, but it's a structural warning. So what problem are we grappling with facing currently? Across emerging markets, 3 truths collide. Walk with me. Number 1, health systems are collapsing under demographics that weren't built for. An example, a 22-year-old, 23, 25-year-old in Nairobi, Lagos, Kampala consumes healthcare differently compared to their parents. Yet, she's offered the same analog pathways, queuing, stigma, and out-of-pocket expenses that are unpredictable. Number 2, digital adoption is accelerating faster than healthcare adoption. Gen Zs are mobile-first population. They're financially strained and mentally overstretched. But the health system still expects them to behave like compliant parents in a brick-and-mortar institution. Third truth is, the biggest unmet gap isn't treatment, it's access. Access to healthcare, access to psychosocial support, access to trust. Let me drill deep to this. And without trust, AI, telehealth, or digital diagnosis means nothing. This mismatch is widening. Not because of technology, but because of who technology is designed for. We are in a generation that won't wait. And let's be clear. Young people are not underserved because they are hard to reach. They are underserved because the systems are slow to evolve. This generation treats time as currency. They have no loyalty, only focus on outcomes. They consume health advice through TikTok before even textbooks. And they will choose a WhatsApp conversation with a stranger over a hospital line with a specialist. We are facing the highest mental health burden recorded in the continent as we speak now. If we design healthcare for what worked before, we lose them. If we design for what they already do, we create next global health advantage. So what does Clinic do as a strategic core? We are not here to fix the system. We are here to build access layer that bypasses the bottleneck. So we do three things which are critical for survival and entrenching the market. We connect young people directly to verified clinicians instantly. So they are able to get telehealth consultation, therapy, psychosocial support, sexual health and reproductive care, GBV support for gender-based violence survivors, all this accessed via their phone. USSD, SMS, WhatsApp. We remove financial friction and allow the young people to plan their spending. So we introduce microloans, pay later options, and health savings in a wallet mapped to their real behavior. No theoretical insurance models, but actual liquidity. Third that we do as clinic is we build digital rails for pharmacies and local providers. Let me bring this home. In Africa and especially in emerging markets, when people become unwell, the first stop is never the hospital. It's always the neighborhood pharmacy, your moms and pops shops in the healthcare framework. That's normally their first stop. And that's where they get their first consultation, if they have to. So what Clinic has done, we've built a rails around this pharmacy. They become our agents that onboard this population onto our platform, and eventually they access telehealth healthcare easily. We are leveraging on the trust they have with the local pharmacy, and now we embed it onto our platform. The result? A system where the front line becomes faster, cost become predictable, and lastly, young people meet healthcare where they already live, online. So why does it matter for the next 1 billion? Or the next billion for the most part? We're not designing for Africa alone. We're designing for the global future most advanced economies are about to confront. We are looking at a young population that's demanding digital first care, an economic precariously shaping health decision, mental health dominating the burden of diseases, and an AI amplifying both opportunity and inequality. The next billion users entering the global health ecosystem are not compliant, patient, insured, nor wealthy. They are entrepreneurial, they are stressed, they are resource constrained, and above, they are powered by mobile connectivity. If we resolve access for them, we resolve access for everyone that comes after. So where does AI fit in all this framework? AI is not the solution. And I repeat, AI is not the solution. AI is a multiplier. Only after the fundamental works has been done. So here is what truly moves the needle. AI triage that reduces clinicians' workload without removing clinicians' judgment. That's very critical. Behavioral models that predicts when a young person will drop off care and intervene early. Population level insights that reveal silent epidemic in real time. And lastly, secure architecture that protects survivors of gender-based violence or young women seeking reproductive care. AI is powerful, but without trust and access, it becomes another burden. So clinic advantage is not in algorithm. It's in the ecosystem we've built for AI to actually land. So if you're in this particular framework or in this particular meeting today and you're an investor, don't wait for the sector to mature. The next billion users are already here. If you're a policymaker, kindly integrate the youth, mental health, and digital microfinance into the national health strategy. Not as appendices, but as core pillars. If you are a researcher in the University of Institute of Higher Learning, build evidence models that capture real behavior, not idealized patient pathways. And lastly, if you're an AI innovator, co-create tools that actually function in low trust, high demand environment. Because the real question is not, can we re-engineer healthcare access? It's, do we have the courage to build systems that serve the people who refuse to wait? We are not just digitizing healthcare as clinic. We are rewriting who gets access to it, when, and at what cost. The next billion are already rewriting the rules. Our job is to keep up. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Stephen. I am just looking if Stephen is online. If not, I would like to directly lead over to our next speaker. So the idea was to have the perspective from Africa from a startup perspective. And I learned a lot from this talk, and I'm looking forward to to continue this discussion with Stephen about the living situation in Africa. And now the idea is from an SME perspective, having Stevie talking. Now a corporate perspective, what happens if a corporation, a corporate is developing services, healthcare services, AI-powered healthcare services. And that's why we would like to invite our next speaker, Pierre Lerouge, from South Africa, from Stellenbosch, from wonderful Stellenbosch, to take the stage. I'm just looking at the screen. Please feel free to speak up, Pierre, if you're online. In the meantime, I would like to ask Shu, but to start preparing the video of our South African colleagues. So I'm just looking at the screen to see anyone speaking up from South Africa. If nothing is coming, then I would suggest that we move on to the next.
Hi, Dr. Philippe.
Here we go.
Yes.
Hi, Pierre. Lovely to see you.
I was trying to get the video going here as well. I'm not sure if the video is showing. But yes, I guess while we wait for the video to play on your side, maybe I could mention just a quick few things.
Please. I just promoted you to a panelist. So Pierre is now leaving and coming in again. And
there we go.
Now you should be able to speak up.
Awesome.
And yeah, here we go. And also put a spotlight on you so we can all see you here. So now, perfect. Hi, Pierre.
Hi, so my name is Pierre Leroux. I'm the Chief Marketing and Sales Officer from Spatial Edge here in Stellenbosch, South Africa. Back there with me is Byron, who supports us in our marketing efforts. Maybe just a small thing or quick things from our side. So we obviously, we've been playing in the retail, logistics, banking, and telecommunication spaces where we've built out multiple machine learning solutions. We've been focusing on mostly operationalizing solutions, so taking ideas from prototype into something that works within a business. And it's very recently that we've entered into the healthcare space as well. And one of the reasons for us also joining on the school is to see what else in terms of the healthcare space is out there, and also to promote ourselves that if somebody is interested in collaborating on any opportunity to obviously reach out. Within the healthcare space, we have developed a tool which, as soon as we can showcase a little bit more in the video, called Phenotype Health AI, which is specifically focused on helping reduce the burden of administration, to be honest, within the healthcare sector worldwide, where we believe there is a big problem associated with that. And that's a new capability that has been made available with the recent launch of generative AI. But yeah, I think that maybe just one other thing to mention is we are very tightly integrated with the Stellenbosch University and the University of Cape Town here in South Africa, and we tend to hire quite a lot of PhDs, which is something that not a lot of companies tend to do. But the reason we do it, and the reason for that, is we like to solve the hardest challenges within the industries that we participate in, so we can create a lot of business value for the organizations.
Wonderful. Thank you, Pierre. Great to have you with us. Great to have Africa on board and more present. So I'm just looking for the video. Are you going to share the video? Is Shu is sharing the video, right?
Yes, I think Shu is sharing.
Yeah. I'm going to show the video.
Perfect. Thank you, Shu. I'm curious to learn more about the AI innovation from South Africa before we move on to Kat. Here we go.
Research shows that doctors spend 2 to 5 hours every day on administrative tasks, not with patients, on things like paperwork, coding, billing. It's a major driver of burnout and it's costing the healthcare system billions in the United States alone. The good news? AI can cut that admin time by 30 to 50%. That's 1 to 2 hours back every single day. That time translates to more patients seen, better care delivered, and potentially $100,000 in additional revenue per doctor per year. Hi, my name is Pierre Leroux. I'm from Spatial Edge. And at Spatial Edge, we spent 10 years building AI that delivers real results. Over 200 solutions deployed, more than 320 million euros in documented business value that we've created for companies in the telecommunications sector, in retail, and in banking. And with more than 150 AI engineers, we are now bringing that expertise into the healthcare space. Introducing Pinotage Health AI, an AI-powered healthcare companion built in partnership with Harvard-trained physicians who understand exactly where the pain points are. Today, the journey from patient consultation to cash in the bank can take up to 120 days, with 5 to 20% of revenue potentially lost along the way. Pinotage transforms that entire chain. Ambient AI records and transcribes, captures the consultation. Structured data then flows into electronic health records, coding happens automatically, billing follows seamlessly, from source to finance, a whole intelligent, accurate and fast system. Let me show you a little bit about how it works. The consultation is captured with medical grade accuracy. Speaker identification happens automatically, clinical documentation is generated in seconds, and the correct billing codes already suggested and ready for submission. Human medical coders achieve about a 75% accuracy. Off-the-shelf generic AI, around 61%. With Pinotage AI, we were able to deliver 95% coding accuracy, which is an extremely important piece. Pinotage AI is just one of the challenges that we are tackling in the medical healthcare space. If you're interested in partnering with us at Spatial Edge on any interesting AI use case or challenge, or you just want to learn more about the Pinotage Health app, please reach out.
Wonderful. So, as I said, the concept of today is that we only pitch the ideas, the possibilities, the capabilities of our partners. Again, please feel free to reach out via our Connect with Partners form, and then we will more than happily arrange a special dedicated session. So if you want to engage with AI-enabled healthcare, let us know. And what I really love about Spatial Edge is that they put the ROI, the return on invest, first before they start developing the AI solutions. So that's a very unique approach that I haven't seen from that many technology companies or AI software development companies doing ROI first development. Okay, having said this, we are now moving to a topic that Stephen has already pitched. I see that Kat is also in our room. Just I'm putting the spotlight also to dear Dr. Kat Tarisha. She has prepared a video, so I'm just saying hi, Kat. So lovely to have you. I'm very looking forward to your contribution. And yeah, please, do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself and the upcoming talk that you're giving?
Yes, certainly. So thank you so much again, Philip, as well as David, for the invitation. I'm very honored to join our esteemed speakers and all the guests who are joining online from all these different locations. Speaking a little bit about myself, I come from a very scientific background and engineering, but through the advancement of my career, I discovered more and more on how actually mental health is important in all the aspects of our life, including also business or healthcare in general. And that brought me to study a little bit more in depth how a human mind is working. That brought me to become a certified coach, a mentor in programs like Women Tech EU, but also a clinical hypnotherapist. For the past 20 years, I'm very focused on finding solutions with the cutting edge technology and innovation to tackle the most difficult problems which human can meet. I'm working as expert advisor and evaluator on different innovative projects within the European Commission, multiple projects, multiple different programs, including as well different countries around Europe, which I'm supporting also as evaluator when it comes to the innovation, but also bringing a little bit more of the global perspective and building bridges. As I had an honor to live in Asia for a couple of years and I call Singapore my second home, I would need to say that there's few homes which I have on my list, and in every country where I have spent a little bit more of time, I establish a very strong network. That also concerns France, Germany, Switzerland, UK, as well as GCC region. And today I would like to speak a little bit more about the latest advancement and the cutting edge solutions which are proposed for artificial intelligence and mental health, but not forgetting about the mental health, human mind, consciousness, and answering also to these questions if we're going to be replaced by artificial intelligence, or how actually can we take some actions to prepare ourselves to meet AI in our daily lives, also protecting human minds and also protecting future generations, including children and youth. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kat, for the presentation and the introduction. So I would like to ask Shu to play the video that was prepared perfectly in time. Thank you. Wonderful to see you, Kat.
Thank
Cheers.
you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, David and Philippe, as well as all the organizers of the Global Future Summit 2025 for the invitation to this event. I would like to speak to you about AI and mental health. I would like to welcome all the students and colleagues and thank them also for being here. Let's start with a powerful question. What is the most incredible tool we have, yet we understand the least? It is not AI, it's a human mind. I am Dr. Kat Zarychta, CEO of Kat Phoenix, an EU expert advisor and evaluator, and a coach, mentor, as well as clinical hypnotherapist who spent years bridging mental health and technology. Today, we're not just talking about apps or AI, we're talking about caring for the mind in the world where we are surrounded by overwhelming flow of information and screens are a constant companions. Let's dive in. To keep us grounded, here is a small overview of how I will proceed with this presentation. I will start by defining the mind and how it differs from AI, and we'll explore the global mental health crisis and digital dilemma we're facing, which is very much connected to artificial intelligence. We'll also know how to harness technology responsibly, as well as, by the end, have some actionable steps to protect our own mental health, and advocate for others. So, what is the mind? Is it just the neurons firing, or is it something more? Our capacity for joy, grief, or that aha moment. Science still can't fully explain consciousness, and that's critical. If we do not understand the mind, how can we build tools to care for it and protect it? Now, compare that to AI. This table says it all. Humans learn from one example. Let's say I just saw a person I know in the crowd. But AI needs millions of data points. We run on 20 watts like a light bulb, while AI guzzles power. But the biggest gap is consciousness. AI doesn't feel, it calculates. That's not a flaw, it's just a fact. And changes everything for mental health care. Let's be clear. Artificial intelligence is a tool, not a digital brain. Neural networks are math, not magic. They are amazing at narrow tasks like diagnosing skin cancer, but fail at nuance. Why is the patient sad? What cultural story shapes their pain? That is human. AI and humans work best as partners. Imagine a therapist using AI to flag patients' worsening mood, then sitting with them to say, I see you. That's the sweet spot. AI amplifies, but it doesn't replace. The WHO says that mental health is a state of well-being where you can cope with life, learn, work, and contribute to your community. It's not stress, it's resilience. And it's continuum with all the life's ups and downs. And also, it's not a luxury, it's a human right. Yet 90% of countries underfund it. And let that sink in. We are neglecting the foundation of every other human endeavor. Let's get with some real statistics. 1 in 7 people, over 1 billion people worldwide, live with a mental health condition. Depression is the #1 cause of disability. Anxiety affects more than 300 million people worldwide. This is an amount of people living in US, more or less. And it's spiking in teens. In the US, 1 in 5 adults struggle, but half don't get help. Europe is pretty similar, and other geographical locations have the same issues. Why is this? It's stigma, cost, and also the lack of therapists. And economically, we only spend 2% of global health funds on mental health, yet it costs 290 million disability years lost to pain. This isn't just a health issue, it's a really important human issue. And now, in the era of digital connection, we are overly connected 24 hours per 7. We spend more than 2.5 hours on social media, 160 times checking our phone. But are we present? And I have a question. Raise your hand if you have checked your phone in at least 10 minutes ago. Me too. And that's the dilemma. Technology promises connection, but often delivers distraction, and we are more available but less connected. Networked, yet not nurtured. And this isn't just annoying. It's a very sad fact. 41% of Gen Z feel anxious after scrolling. 70% lose sleep from pre-bed screens. Young women's depression is up to 50% linked to the comparing their lives to perfect posts of all different influencers. And the loneliness paradox. 1 in 3 adults, young adults, feel isolated despite the fact that they have 1,000 friends online. and remote workers, 60% of reports show more stress. We're always on. Our brains never hit reset. This is not how we are wired to thrive. Now, the good news is that there's also a lot of promises. Digital tools can fill the gaps. Many of these tools also using artificial intelligence. So for rural India, a therapy bot might reach villages with no therapists. In US, teens can use the apps which can be there without the stigma. It is scalable, available, and personalized if it's done right. And here's the catch. AI cannot feel. A bot might say, just calm down, to someone in crisis, worsening their shame. Misdiagnosis may happen. Data breaches might put your inner world at risk. And you know that there's also artificial intelligence models having access to your Gmail account, your WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, learning your patterns and learning everything about you. And I believe that this is also something which puts us at risks. So going to the next thing, what with vulnerable users? Sometimes when they speak with artificial intelligence bot, they might feel that this is something real instead of human. And this is very dangerous. Technology is not a tool, it's a tool, not a therapist. We need clinical quadriles, not just innovation for innovation's sake. Artificial intelligence isn't neutral, that's another thing. Because it's mirroring, reflecting our biases. So if we're training data on 80% of white, Western, and wealthy people, it fails to see Lagos grief or Mumbai's joy. I've seen the AI labeled black woman, neutral face, as angry. Not because she was angry, but it was a bug, just a bias. Cultural mismatch is huge, so solution from Silicon Valley won't work in Nairobi or Pakistan. Emotions are cultural. What's sad here may be resilient there. We need cultural multilingual tools, not just one size fits all. And ethics? Your therapy data could be sold to insurers. Some of the tools are used without your knowledge. And there's also issue of black box AI. If no one can explain why it recommended the treatment, who is going to take responsibility for this when it doesn't work and fails? If it happens this way, it's unethical and we must do better. But there are also things which are, again, a little bit more complicated. So when we rely on our interactions with artificial intelligence, many people now, also teens and kids, reach out to AI companions. And apps like Replica or others, they're just predicting words. So one of my clients said that my bot understands me better than my partner. But then the bot glitched and she would come back to me and tell that she felt really abandoned and misunderstood when the bot said 100 times, "I love you." So the important thing is not to confuse simulation with connection. There is also illusion of intimacy problem. Artificial intelligence can become a safe escape, avoiding messy human relationships. But healing needs human connection. We must ask, when does this tool help and when does it harm? And I know it might sound provocative, but let's not forget about cases of AI companions which turned terribly wrong. We've already a couple of lawsuits which are a result of that, with AI sharing sexual content with minors, harassing users, or advising on committing. Here is another silent crisis, and that's very much connected with the use of artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, Claude, or all the other different models to do everything which people possibly can. This actually started already in 2010 with a global test showing our ability to reason and solve new problems, which is failing. And why? Because of the constant distraction. And now our brains are wired to focus, but screens are fragmenting our attention. And this isn't just forgetfulness. Some Harvard and Stanford and Yale studies were showing that actually just after we have used artificial intelligence, we are not able to remember any of the contents which we have just written. And if we can't process this information, we can't cope with the stress of it as well. And let this be a wake-up call. Not all the tools are bad though, don't get me wrong. There's an amazing list of different kind of applications using artificial intelligence. Headspace, around 1 million users. Webuild uses cognitive behavioral therapy to cut anxiety. And all different kind of wearables also now use artificial intelligence, like Mind Mics to track your stress in real time, or Aura, or all different kind of wearables, which will help you to choose what you eat, how you sleep, and how you behave. This works because they're evidence-based and supplement, not replace the human care. The market also for all different kind of application of AI in healthcare might hit by 2034, 36 billion. And demand is here, but the quality matters. Skip the viral apps and look for the ones with clinical trials. Also another thing, teens spend 7 hours on screen daily. They are cyberbullied, sometimes they self-diagnose via TikTok, and they're overstimulated. And this isn't just kids being kids, it's an emergency. But there is a solution. So there are applications like Poppings, gamifying support for neurodivergent kids with ADHD on other issues, Be Light, teaching emotional literacy. But no apps replace parents saying, "How was your day?" We must guide, not just hand them the screen. And there is another thing we must remember. Anything that we share online always stays there. And when we post photos or videos of our kids, we might put them in danger. And at the end of this presentation, I will show you a short clip to prove it. Mental health isn't just one size fits all. Women face different problems like postpartum depression and menopause. And all the apps like Clue or Stella might track their needs. Men also that avoid care due to stigma, but we need a very good access to low pressure coaching. Older adults, they might feel loneliness and cognitive decline. So all different kind of VR tools and AI-based tools might also work best for them. So tailor care or it fails. Mental health workers are also overburdened and we need definitely more of them. In summary, the mind is our most precious resource, complex, conscious, and cultural. Digital tools are a double-edged sword. They can heal, but they can also harm. We need systematic change, more funding, better policies to regulate AI and protect data. And digital literacy for all. So I would like to ask you to pay attention because the change starts with you. Here is your challenge. Audit your digital habits. Are they nurturing or draining you? Try screen fast for 1 hour a day. Advocate. Push for mental health funding in your community. Teach. Share this message. Technology is a tool, but human connection is the cure. Let's co-create the world where the mind is nurtured, protected, and celebrated. Thank you. I'm opening the floor to the questions, but before I will finish, I would like to show you with me. Please don't hesitate to connect with me on LinkedIn.
Do you know
I'll
that
be very happy to welcome you in my network and also welcome any questions from your side.
Happy birthday, Ava. 8 already. Look like you'd a ball with your friends.
Ah, I see you're back playing football Thursdays, Ava. Hope your dad picks you up on time for once.
Every time you share their life online, you risk sharing their personal data with the world. Pause before you post. A message from the Data Protection Commission.
Thank you very much. It was very inspirational and informative, I have to say. I had a short and very brief bathroom break, but all the other seconds I was really listening very intensively. It was amazing. Thank you so much, Kat, for this very informative talk. Just to let you know, just as a side project of Silk Road, we have founded Global Academy for Future Governance. This is a side project, a spin-off project of Silk Road 4.0, together with Professor Anis Barektarovic. That's a separate organization where we help governments to deal with the upcoming challenges due to modern technology. And Kat is also a keynote speaker at the next event on December 4th, exactly about this very subject. And so if you want to speak and listen, to speak with Kat, but also to listen to Kat's explanations, please feel free to join on December 4th. We'll publish it on LinkedIn. So please follow the Silk Road 4.0 LinkedIn page, and you will see in the following days the posts about the upcoming event on December 4th. So thank you so much, Kat, for joining. It was a great pleasure. And today's second session, the second knowledge session, is dedicated to this whole subject of AI and mental health. And also a gentleman introduced by dear Kat is Professor Dr. Hamse Awad, who is now asked to take the floor. I am just making Hamse a spotlight, but I also see that the screen share is already activated. So Hamse, wonderful to see you the first time. I have to say, we never had the chance to meet, well, in person, not at all, but not even virtually before. So it's a great pleasure to see you here. And Hamse, the floor is all yours. I'm looking forward to your explanations as well.
Thank you very much indeed. First of all, I would like to check if you can hear me.
Perfect. I can hear you very well. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Philip, for the invitation. I would like to extend my great honor to be here. And also, I would like to thank Dr. Kat for the invitation. We actually always try to gather with every single person that's working in the AI in healthcare, because we believe this is one of the hot topics these days. And digital health transformation is a continuous process. And that's why when I was asked by Kathy, that's just to make a kind of presentation, I said it's excellent and it's very good topic to consider, because most of the time when I'm joining a lot of international conferences, face-to-face gathering or panel discussions, I see the fear of AI and also the promising part of the AI. So that's why I thought it's a very good topic to see how we can transform healthcare sector in order that we can have more of understanding how we can move from hype to strategy. So basically, what is AI hype and why strategy matter here, and what is the proof value for being considering the strategy to avoid any hype in the region, and also that to consider worldwide perspective and the roadmap to responsible AI. I will stick to the time that I'm giving, and I will try to finish within the reasonable time. So I will not give a lot of details with explicitity, but we start with even thinking what is a hype. A hype, as we always understand, it's an inflation in our thinking. It's a fear that we might think, or we might think too much about the impact and implementation of the AI tools in a way that might change the current practice or the near future practice by replacing healthcare providers. So many of the students, as I'm a professor in the university, and I'm also advisor for different startups and accelerators that will bring a lot of technologies, to the practice, to the healthcare sectors in the region of the GCC region and also in Europe. I just see that a lot of people have an understanding for the role of AI in healthcare. But the most important part is that whether they want to implement this or not. In one side, on the other side, whether that what they study can be implemented in real life and in the real practice that might help the transformational phase in a way that might consider this as a common myth or as a reality. So radiologists, for instance, there's a drop in the percentage of the radiologists who are studying radiology across the world. Why? Because they believe that the AI is going to replace their job now or later. So, and this is actually a very big myth, because what we try to understand here, and that AI is taking part as a technology. So the media sometimes is just pushing a lot of actual fearness or hype toward the uses of AI, and whether that this is a structurized way or even like this is a random way of advertising about the different AI fragmentations and the uses of different AI technology. So we don't need to have a lot of overinflations, not in economy this time, but this time in thinking about the uses of AI in practice. So if we think about the AI in radiology, for example, as taking this as a good example, we see there's a lot of non-FDA approved, and also there's a lot of FDA approved applications or uses in clinical practice. Now, the good part that radiologists who are trained to use the AI will be in the field and in the market, then they will be more powerful in their clinical practice than those who are not used to use the AI tool. So in a way that we can think, we don't want to avoid that overthinking of the AI and the hype about the AI, but in the meantime, we ignore the situation in a way that we just see every day a lot of changes, and every day a lot of new technology coming to the market. So we all know that AI is very useful, but what we need to know is how we can integrate to this useful part of AI and try to avoid having any barrier in terms of piloting the work and moving from hypes to the strategy. And that's why we see most of the hospitals struggling these days in order that they can pilot the work, because the manpower in the hospital, either that they have a stigma toward the uses of AI because they think nowadays I'm working, I don't know what's going to happen if I'm using AI later. Is the management will keep me, or they will reduce the number of those who are not using AI, or how does it work? It's better to stay as I am and then think about AI as something that will come in the future. The issue that this is not true, because AI is now taking a major role in doing a lot of ROI in the business matter for the hospitals. And successful adoptions need an integration and also evaluation. But in order to do that, we need to have a very good pilot work to look at the successful parts of AI. So what is AI successful? What is the AI, the responsible AI? We hear a lot that we have a lot of terms that called responsible AI. Responsible AI is simply that AI take into consideration ethics. I echo the voice of Dr. Kari by in having that AI is showing that we are there, but we are not very much connected. So we have a lot of demand for using AI in clinical practice. So this is aligning with the clinical goal. But what is it's helping me to have a better turnaround timing in the hospital operation. It helps me to prevent any random unmeasurable way for ROI. It is also, strategy for building our AI is going to be a very good governance tool that to help me in avoiding any bias that might happen And this is where we see the integration between the policymakers, the clinical guide, the gatekeepers in different countries, that where we can have a better guidelines and a better regulatory compliance. So thinking about the maturity of the AI strategy, we see only 1% of the organizations have reached to AI maturity despite the 95% increase in the investment. I saw that some of the sources that, looking at the AI require a ready sponsorship and ready leadership, in a way that we see that the clinical KPIs for the hospitals taking part of a clinical practice, and we see people applying what they need to apply, and we see no fairness about the uses of AI. So we think now of more toward what we can, the hype of the, to avoid the hype of the AI. We need to define the problem that to avoid any metric success. We need always to keep in mind that we need to have a validated AI tools. It's not a very random way of selection. We need to differentiate between digital health transformation and digital health adoption. Adoption is that what we usually hear, that there's a good solution that can be imported to the hospital. But is there any strategy behind this imported AI tool? We usually need to think about the validated way of transformational phase rather than the adoption way. Also, we need to consider the pilot. POC is very good, but we need always to have a good, responsible POCs with a certain KPIs that might reflect to the ROI or avoiding bias or safety parts or errors. So the proof of value toward that showing more of the work, I have just looked actually regionally. I saw that King Faisal Specialty Hospital in Saudi Arabia, they have like a kind of hospital radiology AI model, shows a very good return of investment over 5 years of more than 700%, and reduction in reporting turning time up to the 30%. That means those radiologists who are using AI, they save up to 30% of their time. And this is very good for the management, because this is going to be a guidance for them to help them to have more of reporting, more patients, or also to reduce the cost for different times that used in the hospital. Thinking about the strategy, the best way is the 30, 100, 50, 80, and 365 strategy, where we can, usually hospital needs to differentiate again between the adoption and the transformation. After selecting different tools and thinking of different activities, we need to think of using different healthcare providers that will provide the responsible AI. So we need to identify 3 to 5 responsible AI where we can have with high value and with a good support, with a good training. And then we launch the pilot within the healthcare facility or the organization and hit a certain targets. And this KPIs, one of these KPIs, they need to be considered, not only the money side, it's also the patient satisfaction and the healthcare provider satisfaction. And also thinking of the TAT, the turnaround timing, and also the accuracy of the reporting, or even the integration with the electronic health records in the hospitals. So a 3-stage roadmap is a very good way to have a comfortable zone where we avoid having more of the radiology side, for example, that using reporting by themselves or by dictating reports, or even thinking about data labeling. With AI, we can have all of this, and we can think about how this is going to be an educational tool to improve the technology uses in the clinical practice. And also we can monitor this by thinking about the pilot work that needs to be monitored with KPIs, where we can see more of the effort toward ensuring sustainability in the ROI in the long running time. So as we can understand from this short presentation that we have, we are moving from AI hype to measurable clinical business and impact. And we need also to build trust with technology by making responsible AI rather than thinking of random AI selections. AI will not replace healthcare providers, but AI will replace those healthcare providers who are not using AI. And this is the key point message that I want to conclude with. I'm more than happy always in the future to integrate with every single person interested in the digitalizations in healthcare. And I'm always happy to communicate with business people, educational students, or even higher educational students and other people interested to think about the applications of AI in the healthcare practice and work together to create the healthy community that consider responsible AI and take part of a future digital health transformation as a continuous process in the region and worldwide. Thank you very much again, Philip and Kathy, for the invitation. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Hamza. And actually, Hamza, you came to the right place. This is what SILKROAD 4.0 is for, to create joint ventures, but not only business-oriented ventures, but also research ventures, not-for-profit ventures. So this is exactly the community. I'm more than happy to organize a follow-up session with you. If Kat would give us also the privilege to join, maybe all other colleagues who are interested into this super relevant subject, it would be more than a pleasure. Hamza, thank you so much for this very interesting, informative keynote. I want to move on to the next pitch, because when speaking about ventures, of course, you need to speak about also startups. So the concept, the idea was that we have two projects now coming up, that one is a startup already existing, and then the next is a student startup, because we also want to encourage the youth to be more active in our SILKROAD 4.0 world. So I would like to start first with a pitch from Anna Shahinian from Armenia, from Yerevan. And in order just to be safe with the internet connection, we asked her to record the pitch as a video. So I'm now looking at Shu, asking Shu to start the video.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining the event. Today, when we discuss AI, we inevitably start with data privacy, not only because regulations require it, but because as humans we have a deep desire to maintain autonomy over our information. We know that good data leads to good AI. But there is a critical shift. More data doesn't always mean better AI. In complex fields like healthcare, we often aim for big data to capture complexity. Yet this approach pushes us toward heavy, costly, energy-demanding AI models that creates an ecological burden, which ironically impacts our health, the very thing AI promises to improve. So instead of more, the real need is smart data for smart AI. And here is where the narrative often turns from optimism to worry. The moment we talk about intelligent AI, the conversation shifts to fear. Should we be afraid of AI taking over our jobs? Let's reflect. Do we really assume that humanity has solved all major problems and now the only thing left is to automate the task we perform? Over 80% of healthcare budget still goes to chronic disease management. There is so much unsolved. Yes, AI automates. But more importantly, AI reveals new patterns, generates insights, and enables scientific progress without the need for costly physical labs, purely through data analysis. With that, AI has the power to democratize healthcare and science. But there is more. AI is built on the past. AI learns from the historical data, our previous actions, mistakes, and successes. That means when we fear of AI, we often fear of reflection of our own past work, past biases, past limitations. We, as humans, are for the future. So the question isn't will AI replace us, but rather how do we guide AI so the past informs us without limiting the future? However, to unlock this potential, our mindset is critical, and here we need education system to be evolved. If we treat AI purely as consumers, clicking, prompting, expecting miracles, we deepen a consumeristic attitude that risks turning us into technological dependence. Instead, we need to choose to be collaborators, subjects actively shaping the future, the technology, not objects shaped by it. This is why we created FairBrain, not to replace jobs, but to enable cooperation among researchers and teams with different levels of expertise, tech expertise. The future isn't something to fear, it is something to design. We can make tomorrow as bright as we are willing to build it. AI is our bridge from past experience to future innovation, if we choose to walk across it together. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Anna. So, as you know, Armenia is also very close to my heart. In 2018, I passed by Yerevan, meeting my dear friend and now Vice President David Sahakian, who will give a short presentation later at the last stage of our event. I would like to ask the colleagues from Zagreb to give us their short pitch. So it's a very interesting project that I definitely consider very worth to be supported. So for the next 3 minutes, I want the colleagues from the SIADUS project.
Hello, Philip, can you hear us?
Oh, yes, I can hear you. I'm not sure if I was muted.
Okay, great.
The stage is yours. So the SIADUS, the colleagues from Zagreb now taking the stage. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I'm Frank Krasnic, co-founder of SIADUS and student with a disability. And I'm not alone. About 900 students in Croatia and more than 1.1 million students across the EU face the same. When I started university, my faculty really tried to help, but together we realized that support system doesn't really work because it doesn't exist. You see, most universities lack structured support, so students with disabilities are left to rely on luck, improvise, or just give up. This can lead to isolation, missed opportunities, and even dropouts. This is why I created SIADUS, a unique digital platform. It connects students with disabilities with their colleagues, student assistants, similarly to how Tinder matches people. Assistants can earn STS points, which can be a valuable addition to their academic path, and faculty personnel represented by assistant coordinators get simple tools to track everything easily. SIADUS is modular and scalable, and from beginning of December, we plan to pilot at the Faculty of Economics and Business in Zagreb. And with 130 institutions in Croatia and more than 4,000 across the EU, there is no publicly available, structured, and scalable solution in place. SIADUS aims to be the first. And as accessibility becomes the EU priority, institutions that adopt SIADUS will position themselves as pioneers of inclusive education, which can open doors towards EU funding and boost their reputation. Our main clients are universities and individual faculties, and we offer low one-time setup fee plus an annual subscription. We are a young team of 5 students, and we are currently raising funds to train our team, hire part-time help, and improve the platform. In the future, we plan to expand SIADUS to support students who are transitioning from education to the job market. They already believe in us, and with your support, we are ready to bring real inclusion into higher education, because SIADUS means more than help. It means dignity, structure, and opportunity. So let's make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Fran.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please keep me in the loop. I'm more than happy to support. I'm deeply impressed by this initiative. And yeah, let's continue our discussion. Maybe also our colleague David Zakian, maybe he has also some ideas how we can help you move forward and do the next steps. Thank you so much. And great to have Zagreb joining. That's the first time that our colleagues from Croatia are joining. I'm more than happy to welcome you for the next Global Future Summits. So for those who are new to Silk Road, we have a very deep, close friendship with Zagreb. So I think the 16th Silk Road event was actually in Croatia with Professor Koshenka Dumancic joining as an organizer, as a local organizer. So back then I was in Zagreb, so I'm also very emotionally close to Zagreb. Thank you so much for this inspirational pitch.
Thank you.
Hi, Koshenka.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
This unfortunately also brings us a little bit to the end of the day. So we are moving to the next speaker, Mark Tarago. So Mark, please also join us in on the stage. So as you know, the upcoming event, the next Global Future Summit, is on April 14th, 2026. So people always ask me, so where is it taking place? Well, the problem with a distributed event, by definition, there is not one single location where things are taking place, but there are 20 cities around the world where things are happening. So if we speak about the next upcoming event, we speak about my moderation, where I will be physically. And the idea is that I will be in Dubai, and that during the AIM Congress, we will make a parallel session where I will moderate the Global Future Summit from the AIM Congress. So I'm just looking at Mark Tarago. Here we go. Here I see you. I'm putting you on spotlight. Mark, so lovely to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
It's always great. So we met in China. We were traveling around a bit for several days. And the idea is that for those people who want to stay locally, please, please, please be more than welcome to stay in your local community, attend the Global Future Summit in your home city, in your hometown. But if you want to meet in one central location once a year, then we wanted to offer you a possibility to do so. And that's why we have partnered up with the EM Congress. I had the privilege of speaking at the last EM Congress in June, it was, I think, 2025, where we also signed an MOU. And Mark, do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself and, of course, the EM Congress, so that people know a little bit more what they can expect in case they want to decide to go and meet as a community in one location? Mark, the floor is yours.
Sure. Thank you so much, Philip, for the introduction. First of all, it has been a while since the first time that we met, and all the things that we have done when I was in Barcelona in 2024, that we also use the platform to create content and to talk about the Silk Road 4.0, right? So basically, I'm not sure if you are going to share your screen or I need to share mine.
Please feel free to share your screen. You can
Okay.
do. You should be a panelist, if I'm
Okay,
not
good.
mistaken.
Yes, I can do it now. So basically, as Philip said, AIM Congress is a platform, an event that we organize in Dubai, led by the Ministry of Foreign Trade of UAE and His Excellency Dr. Tani, who is the Minister of Foreign Trade, is our AIM Congress president. So basically, it's an event focused on investment, and we try to generate investment on different levels, government to government, investment for business, business to business, and obviously business to government. So initially, AIM Congress was a platform that we created 15 years ago for well, attracting FDI in emerging countries, but the event has been evolving until today, adding different portfolios. And currently, we have three main investment pillars. one focus on FDI, global trade and global manufacturing. Another one focus on future cities, future finance and digital economy. So everything related to smart cities, technology, and banking solutions. And the third one is investment in everything related to startups, unicorns, entrepreneurs, and of course, artificial intelligence, as you have been aware during the event today that all of us, we are also looking at artificial intelligence solutions. Okay, so this year in 2025 in the event we had more than 15,000 visitors from 181 different nationalities and countries. So it means the international platform that AIM Congress is. And the most important thing is that we are very well connected on the public and governmental side. So we welcome 9 head of states. One of them, David from Armenia. So the president of Armenia was doing the opening at AIM Congress 2025. We welcome more than 74 different ministers that they came to Abu Dhabi last edition to try to generate investment for their countries. We had more than 200 high-level dignitaries and more than 1,300 speakers at AIM. So basically for 2026, we plan to obviously to increase the numbers, but to focus on investment for both public and private sector, which is the main priority for the government to try to attract companies that they want to establish new business opportunities, not only in UAE, also in UAE as a bridge to all the GCC and Middle East region. Okay, so due to the location, Dubai is very well positioned, connecting all the Asian region with Africa, with Europe, and we are also looking at US and Latin America. So I will share my LinkedIn profile with you in the chat. So for anything you may need, feel free reach out to me. You are more than welcome, and hopefully we can meet all of you directly on site during AIM 2026 in Dubai, and hopefully we will create more engagement with all the SILKROAD 4.0 community. So that's all from my side. Thank you, Philip. And nobody said this, but I know how difficult it is to organize events and how difficult it is to do it online with different locations, regions, and cities. So congrats for the perfect organization today.
Thank you so much, dear Mark. I'm very grateful for hearing these praises. I just wanted to share one slide myself because December 2023, this is I think November 2023, it was when I met Mark in China, and when I pitched him the first time the idea of, hey, let's do something crazy. Why not organize something at the same time in 10 cities? And what you see here, the slide that I'm currently sharing with you, is essentially me on stage in this kind of a TEDx setup when Mark trusted me with this concept. So I was moderating the very first event in the new setup with 20 cities around the world at the same time. Actually, back then we wanted to have 10. We already had 16 at the very start. And Mark was, so to say, one of the fathers of this new concept. So I'm very grateful for Mark, for this trust, for this friendship. And I want to really invite everyone who wants to travel around, who meets in person. We are organizing this delegation trip to visit Mark. Also, I'm just smiling towards the startups here. Maybe there is some funding somewhere in Dubai, just saying. So you never know.
Funding is there, so they need to catch up.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mark. It was wonderful to have you with us. Thank you for joining today, and I'm
Sure.
looking forward to see you latest on site in person in Dubai in April 14th. And before we will discuss, of course, the concrete next steps. Okay. Bye bye, Mark. Thank you for joining us.
Bye bye.
So this leads me to the next traveling. So we are currently now traveling again to Germany. So I'm smiling at Syed Muntasir Mamun. You already know him for those who have been around with Silk Road for quite some time. Muntasir is the Chief Innovation Officer of Bangladesh. He's also a General Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And yeah, we are working on several projects with Muntasir. One is the Fluid Organization initiative that he is pushing forward, and the other topic is the wisdom papers. But I will leave it to Muntasir to elaborate a little bit more on what is going on this. So Muntasir, so wonderful to see you. The floor is all yours.
Thank you very much. It's a real privilege, but most importantly, you know, it's such an irony that 10 years before, when we had started the discussions, you had been in Austria and I was in Dhaka and in Oxford, but that now you are on the other side in Southeast Asia and I'm back in on your side. So that's a very interesting place. We wanted to meet up. I think the meeting up is happening crisscrossed. Today, I'm here from Bangladesh, of course, but I believe that the ideas that we are going to pitch here is not entirely a Bangladeshi set of ideas, rather it's based on last 7 years of observations in the Asia Berlin Summit, and also the things that we had been working on, the MVIEs, the fluid organisms, the algorithmic development states, a few other things, a few other things that we have been discussing. But more than that, we'd like to probably set the priorities straight for Munich and Berlin to take the lead. The way that we see to it is that we are faced with choices, and the choices are quite stark. Probably the timelines that we have been discussing with, and focusing on are coming closer to reality, closer to our own real time. So yes, Guten Morgen, if I'm not wrong. I could have said Guten Tag, but then Guten Morgen looks better and more inspiring. So I believe that, or we believe, we had been discussing with our German sponsor, the Berlin place with BWA, that these are exciting times, and probably Silk Road 4.0 needs to take a lead in the way that things are happening, and things ought to happen, the discussions, the discourses, the dialogues, and the epistemologies. What we have is...
Sure. One second. Try now.
See, the roots of our discussions have always gone back to 3 things that we have been working on for the last 10 years. Institutional voids, which the Global South is imbued with, endowed with, blessed with, that we have voids, we have deficits in politics, economics, trade, technology, and other areas. We have inchoate demands. We know that we want something, except that we just cannot articulate what we want. And then we have complementary asset portfolios. We have investments, we have enterprises, we have assets, except that we don't know how to engage them and leverage with them. So the building blocks that we have been working with is connecting markets, connecting minds, connecting technologies, and then coming up with organisms, which these days we're calling fluid organisms. Of course, it's based on fluid dynamics, but slightly more than that. It's adaptive, agentic, agile. We'll not go into the details of it because I believe that our partners from all over the world would like to know a little bit more about what the priorities are. The mechanics of it, we'll leave it for a separate knowledge session, probably where Philip and others can also participate in a bigger way. These are things which we have been experimenting with. But now what we have seen is that the frontier technologies earlier, 10 years before, 15 years before, the set of frontier technologies had been slightly different. AI, of course, it's been there. It's been in our mind, on the papers, everywhere. Of course, AI. Quantum, this year is the year of the quantum in the UN. There's also photonics. And coupled with all these three, we have the mathematics evolving with it. Then there is this accessing the minds, evolutionary biology, biologics, and epigenetics. The reason that I'm mentioning this here is because I just remember, I tend to forget things. The reason being, since we don't use it much, we tend to forget. I and my wing is connected to 15,000 students, medical students in Bangladesh. Imagine 15,000 fresh young medical students, top of the line, and with all their medical colleges. How much of research and development is at stake? How much could be leveraged by anyone? And trust me, not a single one of them is connected to any organization outside anywhere, except for, of course, exchange students. So the accessing the history of time is probably where the next research would be, accessing the DNAs, accessing protein folds, accessing biosynthetics. These are the issues that that probably will be coming up together. That's how we see to it. I'm just giving you a glimpse of what we're dealing with. Use cases. We have certain use cases in innovation. One of them is, see, whenever that someone says that we'd like to do something bigger, and we'd like to make things better, the first question is who's going to finance it? Where the money is coming from? Our idea is the global commons and the public space of services, goods. It's an uncharted territory. It's an unforeseen blue ocean area where we have whole host of wealth, income, and value generation possibilities. It's just not only fiat currencies, but also the value and the income that you can generate out of it. So what we have is, we'll share the papers with you, a dual core equity and finance model for impact, equity-backed tourism, not only tourism per se, but also probably global movements are also part of this, distributed learning and connected research, and maybe shortening the time that is needed for a child to become fully functional in the society, in the industrial community. And one thing, the last one is algorithmic developmental state. What we believe is that Westphalian state systems are probably coming to the end of the line, and we need to find out the strengths which actually drive states, nations, nation states, and regions. So one of the other novel concepts, along with the fluid organisms that we're dealing with or working on, is algorithmic development state, that with the help of ICT, information and communications technology, and AI, the power of the hidden state, it's not the deep state, it's the hidden state, the hidden layer, the power of the community, the society, the individual friendships, that's coming to the fore. And in days ahead, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, probably will be facing that power in its full form. Certain global processes are taking shape. This is where I believe that I draw your attention to. First is the global dialogue on AI governance. Second, independent international scientific panel on AI. Third, UNESCO Global Forum on the ethics of AI. This is where we believe that, at least I believe, and my team believes, that the Silk Road needs to focus on. I believe that we have entrepreneurial spirit teeming across the Silk Road domain, the entire spectrum of it. But this needs to translate into global processes which are deployed in the UN, in the World Bank, in the IMF, and also amongst the G7 countries, G8 countries also, maybe the GCC, and that the epistemology with which these powerful identities are working probably need to take cognizance of what's happening, what is at stake. Particularly for me, who's coming from the bottom of pyramid markets, for the base of pyramid markets, these are the issues which relate to me, which bother me, that is not being addressed. Advancing equity and capacity building, transparency and human oversight, openness and interoperability. These are issues which we believe that's a win-win situation, win-win place where all of us can win, but somehow or the other, it's not getting reflected in the global processes which are there. And I believe that if Silk Road could raise a voice, then the state parties, see, global South is how many countries? More than 85 countries, or maybe 100 countries. or not only the ADCs, but also the developing countries. So the whole of Africa almost, the whole of South Asia almost, the whole of East Asia almost, half of it at least, maybe the half of East Europe, maybe the entirety of South America, maybe half of North America. So literally the whole of the world is in that bucket, except that this articulation is not taking place. So markets, enterprises, technologies, processes are not getting connected to the majority identity of the human individual. That's where we want Silk Road to focus in. Not only the entrepreneurial part, that's very good, that's an important part, but then translate part of the energy into these priorities. The next is the global AI discourses, because we believe the hypothesis is in next 6, 12, 18 months of time, major breakthroughs will come up in artificial intelligence. See, still now what we have is maybe we have some agents, but artificial intelligence is based on language models. Language models are as they are, it's language models. So it's basically spatial dispersion of languages, tokens, and then you come up with solutions. This is okay. This helps us short circuit some of our more mundane research processes, but it's not very encouraging for real foundational research. It helps, but it doesn't really lead. But artificial intelligence is basically real intelligence, which is coming. And for that, we need to have discourses which reflect the aspirations, ambitions, competence, not only competencies, but also contingencies and adjacencies of markets which come into place. There's the whole milieu, the ecosystem of actors, agents, players, strategies, objectives, and also the strength of the state system, which is at stake. We believe that Silk Road ought to be there. We call this initiative that you have in Silk Road Track 1.5. It's not exactly a government process, definitely not. It's not exactly a fully owned private process either. It's somewhere in between. Like I'm a sitting ambassador or a director general, the chief innovation officer of a government, but I'm here, very much here, at heart. Why? Because we have faith and belief in the system that we have put in place. The discussions that we had 10 years before is now taking shape. It's around us. Imagine if this discussion could transcend. And that's what probably, Philip, your wisdom paper series is something that fascinates me. So AI for Good Global Summit, World Summit on Information Society, which is this month, December. Internet Governance Forum and Global AI Governance Dialogue. These are the four particular UN-led agencies and bodies where I want the Silk Road to make a presence and make its presence felt. Global Industry Connect, NVIDIA's World Summit AI Summit London, Global AI Show in the Middle East, Abu Dhabi. These are areas where I would also like to see Silk Road, or at least its allied organizations, make a stand, take a stand, and convey this message. You see, I'm not here speaking only for Bangladesh, because we have friends from other parts of the world who wanted us to speak about this. And slowly this process is becoming a multilateral, multinational, transcultural priority. The priorities in these areas, both in the AI dialogues and also in the industry connect, is universal connectivity and digital inclusion. That's on top of the list. Ethical AI and sustainability for development. Multi-stakeholder collaboration and representation. I'll add one more to it, which is a market focus. That we need to understand what the markets are. Not only the factor markets, not only the consumer markets, but also the interactions between and amongst the markets. I was having a discussion with our Berlin sponsor, the Berlin host, and I was just thinking that what if I could connect 100,000 of my SMEs, which is just maybe nowhere, because we have 6 to 7 million of SMEs in Bangladesh. If you could connect just 100,000 of them to BWA, how many weak signal connections would be made in just 1 year's time? How many strong signals would be made? Because most of these SMEs are connected to the global markets. Digital divides must close. Let people survive, thrive, and then grow together. This is a wonderful word. And we are absolutely on the precipice of time. WS priorities, I'll just focus on this, and then information and communication infrastructure, access to information and knowledge, particularly multilingual digital public goods. These things need to be focused on. What I see, particularly in the revision 1 and revision 2 is coming up for table discussions. I would like to see that Silk Road and its member and allied countries take an interest in WSIS priorities and see if these issues can be focused on, if their respective governments and also civil society bodies could look into these areas. See, C4, the capacity building and building confidence. This is also an area, these are also areas where we need to work on. We believe that WSIS, the process, the World Information Society process, which the summit is coming up in the middle of December, needs to take into account, because these are, see, WSIS is there for the last 20 years. But this year's WSIS is very important because these 2 years, the next 2 years, will oversee massive foundational transformations in the way technology, particularly artificial intelligence, information and communication technology is perceived, conceived, and augmented, leveraged by anyone and everyone in the world. And if we're speaking about World Information Society, then the countries, the states, everyone has a stake there. But I still don't see much interest from people who should have had some interest. At least that's what I believe. As a developing nation, I want to see that other developing nations and also the developed states have taken interest in the processes which is going there. Don't just make it another diplomatic instrument which no one reads. It's a 120 or 150 paragraph document which no one reads. Make it something which is aspirational and ambitious. But more than that, one of the other reasons that I'm looking at it, particularly this WSIS, is because this will feed into the LLMs. These documents will go and shepherd the ideas that are given to us back by any foundation model, because these are the guardrails that's coming from the epistemological and ontological aspiration and assessments of artificial intelligence and information societies. The next set is ICT applications, particularly e-business, e-government, e-health, e-learning, e-agriculture. I have been listening to each of the pitches very carefully for last couple of hours. And it's fascinating, but I don't see the reflection of these market-based solutions in the UN papers which is coming up. Now, someone might say that UN has a different role to play. Yes, UN did have a different role to play, but I think the future UN must have a different set of rules to play with. Because if it doesn't, then it becomes irrelevant. The state parties will still be there, but would the common person, be it a European, be it an Asian person, be it a South Asian person, would he or she relate to it? I'm afraid not, unless it speaks about business, unless it speaks about the human individual and its capacity to participate in that milieu. The last, international and regional cooperation. Creating global South-led partnerships, South-South, North, North-South partnerships. Partnerships which could be underwritten by a limited public stakeholding, but more than that, the processes of it. That's where the other area that we are discussing about, the algorithmic developmental state that comes in. So for this set of priorities that we have mapped out here, we have documents and documentation. I'll share the papers with Philip and the rest of us so that we can all have a look at it and create a cybernetic future, at least for next 2 years, and see how best we can reap our benefits out of it. As again, discussing with our friends from the federal ministries here, we are probably from Bangladesh and in Germany, we're probably at par in terms of our ideations. The difference is all that we have is on paper. I want to access the systems which is already deployed there. It's idle compared to what I would like to do it with. So in terms of accessing this capability, I'd like to have a rights-based approach and also a market-based approach. That is not only that, okay, give it as charity. No, we want to bring in individuals. We want to bring in families and enterprises into the ecosystem where they can be most meaningfully utilized. Let the market decide. And those decisions, let it be underwritten by a UN or UN-oriented or United Nations-led process, so that this is reflected in the Leaders Summit, or let's say the General Assembly next year, September. I don't see those things being reflected anywhere. And that's my personal opinion, of course. And I'd be very happy if I'm found to be incorrect, but I don't see that. But those things need to be there. The global leadership must wake up to what the globe is waking up to. And probably Silk Road is something which ought to and which can take a lead there. So Silk Road 4.0, I have identified a few areas where I believe that Philip would have interest, David is interested, BWAs might also be interested, and probably not only might, I'm sure that there will be live wisdom papers, the papers that we're working on, make them live. Let anyone and everyone participate in it. EdTech, FinTech, GovTech, let all the papers that we're working with be live, be on the market. Let people participate, communicate, and then intervene as they own, so that the technology which will be coming out of it would be shared, would be staked by individuals on their own. Live R&D, live diplomacy for that matter, not like the old diplomatic style that you're connected to an elite core and then you don't really know exactly what's happening in the market. No, creating horizons beyond Westphalian borders. So that's where we'd like to end our intervention from Berlin. It's not entirely a Bangladeshi perspective, you must understand by now. This is something that I see at the Multilateral Forum and also in our discussions with Germany at this moment. Maybe we'd like to bring Munich and Warsaw in the fold, and see how we can proceed from there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Muntasir, for your explanations. So you mentioned or you raised a couple of topics, and that's perfectly fitting into the flow of our conference, because we are now also coming into the topic of what can we do? How can we engage? How can we partner up? And you mentioned very interesting points that we should focus on. And I just want to show you, because this is rather new for within the last half a year, you know, we were working very hard on the organizational build-up. So the work was not so much done in the public, but the last half year, actually, it was a base work that we did with building the business club. David will speak more at the very end of our conference, but also the not-for-profit association that we are currently working on, and also the team that is working in the background. So I want to also use this as a call for action. If you want to be part of Silk Road, if you want to engage in the subject that Muntasir was just proposing, please reach out, please become a team member, please join us to drive all those issues forwards that Muntasir has just mentioned. So thank you so much for joining, Muntasir. Like always, it's a great pleasure having you with us. And I'm very much looking forward to continuing our work on the wisdom papers. Just to briefly mention the concept of the wisdom papers. So essentially, Muntasir and I were having a bilateral discussion, and this discussion was recorded and transcribed using an AI note taker. And then we used the transcript and ChatGPT 5 in order to write a scientific paper. And that was really interesting to see what an AI like ChatGPT plus the input of hopefully experts can do, what kind of insights, thoughts that Muntasir and I were not thinking of, what else is out there that is outside of our knowledge zone, our knowledge bubble, so to say, and then to even deep dive more into the subject, more than just two people could do. So I'm really want to invite all of you, if you want to be involved in the creation of this, we call it wisdom papers, please reach out, please connect with partners, please use the form to indicate with whom you want to get in touch with, so we can keep you in the loop, and also to work together with Muntasir and us of SILKROAD 4.0 to further create more knowledge papers. Thank you so much, Muntasir. Also a big thank you for our host our long-term friend in Berlin, the BWA, who kindly offered to host Munters here today in Germany. Always a great pleasure to have you with us, Andreas. Thank you for making it possible. Thank you for being a long-term partner. With that being said, I want to move on to the next partner. And this is the second last presentation of today, so we should be able to make it just perfectly in time. And that is our partner, Eco-Civilization. So I would like to ask Manica Celofiga to join us on stage, on the global stage, to briefly pitch Eco-Civilization. I'm just looking if she's already in the, here we go, I see her adding a spotlight also on Manica. So lovely seeing you. We only briefly met during another event of Eco-Civilization. So please feel free to present Eco-Civilization. So for those who are new to Silk Road, I got involved or got in touch with Eco-Civilization when I invited Violetta Bulc, the former commissioner of the European Commission for Mobility and Transport, to join us in one of the Silk Road 4.0 events. And she's also, Violetta is also one of the co-founders, or the curator, as I think she calls herself, for Eco-Civilization. So Manica, the floor is all yours. Please feel free to briefly introduce in the next 3 minutes Eco-Civilization.
Yes, thank you, Philip, and thank you all the speakers before. It was really inspiring how we all are here to balance this new AI coming in, and digitalization and workplace changes and project changes. And Eco-Civilization movement actually developed exactly because of that. We are here to consider where are we leading our ships. So where do we want to dock in this digital era? And it's societal models. So we integrate ecological sustainability and environmental harmony as fundamental principles, hand in hand with the development of awareness of human civilization. So we are not only to connect and take care of our planet, but also for our humanity that might got lost with digitalization. So this is definitely a holistic approach, what we are doing, and we are envisioning this harmonious coexistence between humanity and the planet, recognizing that the health and prosperity of both are intertwined. And while we are doing this, we know that all the technology, all the projects that we are running, they demand human sanity, and the chaos that is reaching us with all the tools, with all the applications, is calling us really to care for humanity, to conduct the safe space for our engagement, collaboration, and all those innovations that we put the human being in the center, so we don't lose ourselves in the technology coming in. So we are emerging for the foundations for the future civilization that we want to see. So Eco-Civilization movement basically is ecological civilization of people who human well. So we want to reimagine a vibrant relationship with the planet Earth, to deliver solutions for the humanity to thrive along with the planet and beyond, to connect people that care. So again, we are the most important here in collaboration, in imagination and respect and compassion, the values that connect us and principles, socio-technology, of course, combining our society with the development of technology that cannot be overlooked, system science, so looking at everything holistically, not forgetting our spiritual transformation that is the basis of our capacity to basically handle the technological improvement. And this is what I heard from the cat and from my previous speaker. We really need this spiritual capacity. I said this is basically quantum resilience of today, of the human being that is capable of really make the AI literacy. Because as you brought up the percentage, that there is no maturity of using AI, and the AI projects are dropping down in 90% just in Europe because the data is incorrect, because the knowledge about AI is not sufficient. So we have to adjust the speed to our capacity of absorbing everything. So relationship-based value create the society that will be able to cope with all of that. So the goals that we have are by 2050. So we are looking at everything long term. We know that everything needs some adaptability time, and we really see the Earth as an eco zone in the universe, relationships as a base of values that we create. And we want to be this responsible stewardship as the way of managing the Earth's shared resources, because we all know no Earth, no human beings. Peace as foundation of sustainable coexistence. We all know that fear leads to violence, and violence leads to limitation of the most sustainable energy in the world, that's love. So what we are hoping for now that we are in, we're working locally in 50 countries in the world. So our goal is to get into 100 countries included in actions on local, global level. Our strategy, building capacities for resilience and adaptations and so on. So our current focus were in the year before, water, soil and air, the basic ingredients without which
wonderful, Manica. Thank you so much for this introduction to eco-civilization. Unfortunately, I have to be a little bit mindful of the time. So, but we are more than happy to collaborate very closely with eco-civilization. Violetta kindly invited us also to be part of your upcoming AI event circle that you're organizing. I'm more than happy to get involved. I love the vision. I love the importance of eco-civilization. Thank you so much for joining, Manica. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So just as a very last speaker of the day, 8 minutes left before we call it a very long, very intense a knowledge sharing global endeavor that we did. I'm just smiling at Yerevan. I also see Diana joining. Hi, Diana. I don't think that we actually had so much of a chance to speak in person. So Diana was heavily working on behind the scenes. So if you saw some LinkedIn posts, social media posts, Diana, also Sevan. Also, I really want to mention Shu, who did an amazing job in the last days here. Madina also, who made it possible that today was happening and the event took place. So a big heartfelt thank you, as I can see Diana here on the screen. So David, I want to see you're sharing the slides. Wonderful to have you, my friend. So please feel free to share how people can get involved. So we do have this not-for-profit part that was towards, for example, eco-civilization, but also we do offer a for-profit collaboration, and that's what we have the Global Business Club for. So David, please feel free. The floor is all yours. You're still muted. Just a second. I cannot yet hear you. I see that the microphone is not activated yet. Yes, here we go.
Do you hear me? Do you see me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank all the speakers, all the participants in not only online, but in all 20 plus cities and regions. It's amazing. And as a continuation of showing the whole volume and value that Silk Road 4.0 is bringing to the society, I would like to finish with my presentation related to the Global Business Club. So, as many times we mentioned, both me and Philip, I was involved in Silk Road 4.0 starting from 2017. And sometimes, as I joke, I get infected with the idea of Silk Road 4.0. And after leaving the ministry in 2024, I got fully sick with this idea and initiative. And during my so-called infected period, I was regularly participating in all Global Future Summit events, and I saw the value that it brings, the community that it is created, and how it works and how the community members are interacted between each other. And after getting sick, starting from last year, I was fully involved institutionally in all activities related to the Silk Road 4.0, Global Future Summit, and other activities. And I saw the real value how Silk Road 4.0 can benefit to the business, to the community members, to the all participants. And 3-4 months ago, we started the discussion with Philip to sort of make a infrastructure in such a way that community members can interact between each other and create a value for the world. So we created Global Business Club, which has the all resources and connection means between the community members. So Business Club is where trusted leaders, innovators, and investors unite their scale to scale ventures, to open markets and shape the rules of tomorrow's AI-driven world. So we have our mission. Silk Road has its own mission and vision that is spread it both to the Global Future Summit, to the Global Business Club, and to other activities that we are organizing. By the way, pay attention that all activities that we are doing, the labeling is starting from the world global, because whatever we are doing with our members, it's a global. We have also Global Academy for Future Governance. We have Global Startup Ecosystem Development Program. We have Global Innovation Centers Program. So whatever we are doing, it's very global. So who we are, you can see from the map. You can see from the map that there are many dots. So pictures are closing South America dots. So we are widespread it over the world. So this allows us to help our members to find a partner literally from every country in the world. And this is the real power that Global Future Summit and SILKROAD 4.0 has. So as I said, we are represented in 20 plus countries. During this period, starting from 2017, when Philip started this initiative, we have more than 2,000 curated introductions. This curated introduction is very important. Later, I will explain a little bit what does it mean. And we have more than 100 ventures supported through our network. So, we have group of services that we are presenting, we are providing to our members. It's a knowledge and insight. It's a group of services that Business Club is providing to our members. By the way, we have already members registered, so-called paid members. So it's a participation, opportunity to participation, Global Future Summit, also to opportunity to receive our newsletters, to be part of our educational and scientific so-called initiatives that we are running. The second part of our group of our services are project initiation and ventures building, which means that we support our members to get introduced to each other and to develop new projects, new ventures, and provide institutional support to all these kind of initiatives. The third part or group of our services is support with the fundraising. It includes curated introductions to the investors, supporting with the financial documentation preparation for additional fees, etc. What does it mean, the curated introduction? So Global Business Club is not just a list of members, list of telephone or email addresses. We, as a Global Business Club, we work with each member of our club, identify their needs, their problems, and we find the corresponding partner or entity who can support to solve this problem. And we don't provide the only telephone number. We organize their meeting, we organize the introduction of members to each other, and then it will increase the efficiency of introductions many times. So the fourth group of services is a business development. It again includes curated introduction and supporting with the participation to the expos, conferences that we are going to organize, not only Global Future Summit, but also in the framework of our partners' events. We will have an ability to, let's say, provide corresponding windows of participation for our members. The fifth group is sales and marketing. Again, curated introductions, one-to-one curated introductions to potential customers. And the last but not least is a leadership and recognition. We have specialized committees that our members will able to join. We will have awards like the Member of the Month or the Innovator of the Month, etc., etc. So based on what we said or what I said, we created four types of the members. So starter and silver, gold and diamond. So what is the difference? So we have two types, I will say, potential members that are coming from the two type of countries, developed countries and developing countries. So we understood based on our research that the prices that corresponds to the members from the developed countries can be not affordable for the potential members from the developing countries. So that's why for the developing countries, we have created starter and silver membership types. And for members from the developed countries, we created gold and diamond. So the advantage of the Global Business Club is, as I said, that the relationship is more curated, not crowded. It's a value-driven, not just transactional. It connects not just market, but it connects culture and mindset. It blends hard tech with the deep humanity, AI, governance, ethics, innovation, diplomacy, and it creates continuity, not one-off event. So the Global Business Club and Global Future Summit form the combined platform where people don't just network, they co-create the future. And based on that, if this is interesting for you, you can go to our website, check our website, SILKROAD 4.0.com, and then you can see Global Business Club. So in what is needed as a call to action to become a member is, first of all, to choose the membership level, and then download the code of honor, sign it, and fill out the application form, upload the signed code of honor, and then automatically you will receive the letter that welcome to the business club. Your supervisor or supporter is certain person based on your region. You saw Philip showed the website. We have country directors, regional directors. So a corresponding regional director will be attached to you to support with the further actions. And then when payment is made, the 1 hour call will be organized with you. During this call will be revealed all the problems and needs that you face with your business, and then the 1 year roadmap will be prepared and presented to you, how the business club is going to help you with a solution of your problem or improvement of your business. This is the end. Thank you very much, and looking forward to work with you, to collaborate with you, and let's change the world together.
Love it. I love the last statement. David, as you know, changing the world is my passion. So this final remark was exactly what I love to do, what I love to hear, and where I really want to bring us all people together. There is this saying of if you are crazy enough to think that you can change the world, you can do it. And I think if we just find the right people, all of us joining, coming together, making this a place where we can really facilitate the change. Wonderful. So please feel free to join our business club. I will took the liberty to share the link also in the Zoom call. If you're not joining via Zoom, but for example on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, then please feel free to also follow our LinkedIn page, SILKROAD 4.0. You will find in the following days, weeks, ongoing our social media activities. You will learn more about what's going on in our SILKROAD 4.0 family. It would be lovely to see you all joining the Global Business Club in order you want to push forward your commercial projects. If you are not into commercial activities, if you're more into research or pro bono activities, then please also follow our SILKROAD 4.0 LinkedIn page. We continue work on the SILKROAD 4.0 Association for the not-for-profit activities. And yeah, thank you all for joining today. We are slightly 9 minutes over time. I mean, for a 3.5 hour session, I think that's not too bad. Only 9 minutes above. So thank you all for joining. Thank you all the 20 locations for bringing your friends, partners together. It was wonderful to see you. I'm looking forward to also see you all in hopefully next year's session. So a big bye-bye to our global community. So we will have a detailed review of the questions that have been raised during the event. So we'll organize follow-up calls, follow-up sessions, follow-up involvement. And again, if you want to join, if you want to get more involved, reach out to us. Social media is your friend. Follow us. Please don't expect me to reply on emails at the moment. That's a little bit my personal bottleneck. So the best is if you have my my WhatsApp contacts, please just send me a quick message. I will route you to the best person and partner to answer your request. Having said this, thank you all for joining. It was wonderful. For me, it was a very insightful discussion. Thank you all for all the speakers for the thought-provoking insights. Thank you all the local partners for bringing your communities together. Let's stay in touch and let's make the magic happen. So all the best from Hanoi. Also a big thank you to the colleagues from FPT who made it possible that I'm moderating the event here from Vietnam. And yeah, looking forward to see you all together very soon. All the best. Cheers.